Oklahoma City is fair time. And as the leaves begin to change color, the baseball season comes to an end. Tonight at the AT&T Bricktown Ballpark, the Pacific Coast League champion Sacramento Rivercats square off against the International League champ Richmond Braves, trying to lay claim to the Bricktown Showdown Trophy. The AAA crown, Sacramento and Richmond next. It is a beautiful night in Oklahoma City, and welcome to the AT&T Bricktown Ballpark. This is the Bricktown Showdown. The PCL champion Sacramento, the IL champion Richmond. Hi everybody, I'm Howard Kellman. You know about Tommy John surgery? Well, the man, the legend, Tommy John is here with us. Great to have you aboard.
Thanks, Howard. I'm ready for a great game.
Okay, that's quite an operation you got there.
Well, that's the best I could do.
Okay, well, let's talk about the road to the Bricktown Showdown. First, we'll start with Sacramento. Sacramento trailed Salt Lake 2-0, won 3 in a row. And then Sacramento swept New Orleans to capture its third PCL championship in 5 years. Let's talk about Sacramento's key players.
Howard, Sacramento's players are Nicholas Plaza. He hit .457 in the playoffs, 12 runs, 16 hits. The other one is Gregoria Pettit. If you get the ball on the ground, he can go get it. He's a great defensive player.
Okay, the Richmond Braves blew a 10-game lead in the IL South, but captured a wild card. Defeated Scranton Wilkes-Barre 3-1, and then won 2 games on Saturday to win the Governor's Cup, beating Durham 3-2. Let's talk about the Richmond Brave key players.
Brent Lillibridge, the diminutive shortstop, .378 with 14 hits in the playoffs. Brandon Jones, called up by the Braves but sent back down just for this game, .333 with 11 hits in the playoffs.
Okay, Tommy, and the starting pitchers are Shane Comini for Sacramento, and for the Richmond Braves, Blaine Boyer. We'll be back with more. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
Don't just talk about school pride. Show it on your air conditioner or heat pump with the new Affinity School Color Series from York. Unrivaled in efficiency and reliability. Now in your team's colors. Call 800-910-YORK to order yours today.
What if all those abandoned coins banded together? Think how they would add up. With Keep the Change, every purchase you make with your Bank of America Visa check card is rounded up to the next dollar. And all that glorious change is transferred from your checking to your savings. So if you wish you could save more money, now's your opportunity. Bank of America.
Hit well to right field. Going back. Orchard going back, and it's gone.
Popcorn, Cracker Jack, baseball is back. Right here, right now. Our team, our town. Come on.
Going back out. Way
Gluttony starts now.
We're like the Huns, you know, this is like all for the taking, all for the pillaging, but in a nice way.
You gotta think of me as your life coach. And for the fun parts.
This is my vacation too, you know? Don't drag me down.
You're saucy, I like that. Picante.
Hey, Money. Listen to him. I can get you in upstairs. I know a guy.
ESPN's presentation of the Bricktown Showdown. Brought to you by Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity. Ticket Return, the leading ticket provider in minor league baseball. And York, it's time to get comfortable.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown. The third member of our crew is Jim Byers. Jim, this is a beautiful ballpark. Where are you now?
Thanks, guys. We have come outside the ballpark to the Mickey Mantle Plaza statue area. This ballpark opened in 1998 here in downtown Oklahoma City, and that was the year the statue was unveiled as well. It honors the great Oklahoman Mickey Mantle. You know, Oklahoma, more than just a football state. A lot of great baseball players reared here as well. And another chapter in Oklahoma baseball history is about to take place inside. So let's go in and play ball.
Okay, thank you, Jim. There's Mickey Mantle's statue, and you faced him when he batted from the right side.
Yes, I did, and he whistled one right by the old left-hander's head. I mean, 2 inches more, and you'd be doing this with somebody else. That I can tell you.
The Bank of America starting lineup for Sacramento. Nick Blasey leading off in center field. Lou Merlone at third. Jorge Pedrea in left. The catcher is Jeremy Brown. Brent Colorano at first base. Brian Stavisky DHing. Gregorio Petit is the shortstop. Kevin Malillo, the second baseman, and Danny Putnam batting ninth and playing right field. And there is Blaine Boyer, Tommy, on the hill for Richmond.
Blaine Boyer out last year with some shoulder surgery, and you can see only 12 starts this year. He's working himself back into shape. The Richmond Braves coaches like this young man's stuff. Great curveball.
He does. He has a very, very good arm. And he was a relief pitcher in the big leagues with Atlanta. Defensively for Richmond, Carlos Mendez playing first, Mike Rosemith second, the shortstop Brent Lillibridge, and Wes Timmons at third base. An outfielder Brandon Jones in left, Gregor Blanco in center, and the right fielder Doug Clark. Iker Franco catching, and on the hill, Blaine Boyer. There are the umpires, Troy Fullwood of the International League calling balls and strikes. Casey Mosier of the PCL umpiring at first. International League's Damian Beal at second. And Mike Malinsky of the PCL at third. We are ready to play ball in the second Bricktown Showdown. Nick Blasey to start it off. And that's a strike, and we're underway from the AT&T ballpark. Blasey hit .316 during the regular season, and Boyer wants a new ball. And Blasey had the phenomenal finish, 31 for his last 59. That goes back to the regular season. He was the postseason MVP of the PCL playoffs. And that's high and away, ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
When you hit the ball like he did in the playoffs, you've got a good chance to be the MVP. But he's got a good, quick bat.
Hitting is all confidence. He's got it now.
Well, it's confidence, and it's seeing the ball and believing that you can hit the ball. And you may go up and make 4 outs, but if you center the ball on the bat, you've had 4 good at-bats. You just haven't fallen in.
There's Tony DeFrancisco, the skipper and third base coach of Sacramento. He is from New York City, from the Bronx. In his 5th season as manager, 3 PCL champions in 5 years, and he'll be joining the big club. He'll go to Oakland in a few days and be a coach up there the remainder of the season. That's a good fastball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Absolutely beautiful night. Had some clouds and a threat of rain earlier in the day. And he fouls back the payoff pitch. So often the count goes to 3-2, and the batter fouls back that fastball.
Well, you see 3-2 counts off 0-2 counts, and that's one of the things that drives me crazy. If Blaine Boyer has an Achilles heel, it's not being able to command the strike zone. He's had 50 walks in 70-some innings, and that's not very good.
And he got him. Strike 3 called, and that was an absolutely terrific pitch, knee high and over the outside corner.
You don't expect to get a 3-2 pitch right on the outside corner. Watch the catcher set up outside. Watch the ball outside. The catcher catches it inside his body. Generally speaking, Howard, if you catch the ball inside your equipment, it's going to be a strike.
So 1 up and 1 down. You can put the ball right there, knee high and over the outside corner. You get your ticket to Cooperstown.
Well, you get your ticket to the big leagues.
All right, here's Lou Merlone. So Boyer strikes out his first man. Merlone takes a strike. Lou batting .254 during the regular season. 3 homers, 39 RBI. And you see that C in the upper left-hand corner of the front of his uniform. And that's a ball. Tony Francesco was saying in his office prior to the game, we want Lou to have that C. He's the leader of the ball club. He's the captain tonight, and he helped us get through this. He's a veteran.
Well, he's been all over, my heavens. He's been every place.
And he drives this one to right center. Clark is there, and they're 2 away. No score in the opening inning. 2 up and 2 down.
Another good pitch on the outside corner. The catcher outside. The ball is, it was middle of the plate, but it had enough juice on it to get in on Merlone, and he hit it to the right fielder. Not every time, Howard, do you throw the ball where the catcher puts his glove. Sometimes you can throw it away, but you got to have good stuff.
And Jorge Piedra fouls it back. He hit .336 during the regular season. 9 homers, 56 RBI.
Which is why farm directors, general managers want to see those pitchers with 92, 95-mile-an-hour fastballs because you can make more mistakes.
And that's a little bit low, and that's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike as you look at the Sacramento dugout. The International League won the All-Star game. Thereby, Richmond is the home team tonight. Same format as that of the major leagues. 2-1 on Piedra. He is one of 5 left-hand batters in the Sacramento lineup. And that's grounded foul. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oklahoma is celebrating 100 years of statehood in 2007.
That's why they brought me in from the airport on the Conestoga wagon.
Boy, did he break that back.
I love it.
I know you do. Boyer on to Mendez. And a 1-2-3 inning after a half inning. There is no score. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
The NASCAR Nextel Cup Series at Dover, Sunday at 1 Eastern on ABC, and the NASCAR Busch Series at Dover, Saturday at 3 on ESPN2.
This is Maya, and if she doesn't look too happy, she isn't. Maya, like many people, has too much credit card debt. How about you? Do you have $5, $10, $15, or even $25,000 or more in credit card debt? Are your creditors harassing you at all hours? Are you tired of going through life feeling like Maya? I'm Todd Cook, founder of 800 Credit Card Debt. Day in and day out, we help people just like Maya. Regular people who got in over their heads in credit card debt and want their lives back on track. At 800 Credit Card Debt, we'll help you find a payoff plan you can live with. One that could work with your creditors to eliminate penalties, lower your interest rates, and even reduce what you owe. Don't let the word bankruptcy enter your thoughts. Call us, because you can pay off your credit cards and still have money left over each month. And the best part is, you'll feel like yourself again. Maya did. Make the call today.
Get rid of your credit card debt once and for all. Call 1-800-637-5052.
Welcome to Oklahoma City in the AT&T Bricktown Ballpark. Home of the Oklahoma Redhawks, the AAA affiliate of the Texas Rangers.
We're excited about hosting minor league baseball's premier event for the 2nd consecutive year and hope you enjoy this national broadcast. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Ballpark, and now the Bank of America starting lineup for the Richmond Braves. No score here in the bottom half of inning number 1. Gregor Blanco in center, Brent Lillibridge at short, Brandon Jones in left. The DH is Larry Bigby, Doug Clark in right, Carlos Mendez batting 6th at first base, Wes Timmons at third, Mike Roseman at second, Iker Franco catching. And that's a ground ball by Blanco to the shortstop, Petit, who throws on to Colomanero, 1 pitch and 1 out. All right, we'll look at Shane Comini.
Shane Comini does not have the stuff of Boyer, but at 5'9", he's got a good sink on his fastball, a good breaking ball, and he throws strikes.
He is from Hawaii, and when he attended the University of Nebraska and pitched collegiately there, he was dubbed the Hawaiian Punch-Out. So he's on the hill. He's 5'9", and usually right-handers are taller than that.
They like to see right-handers a little taller than that, but if you can pitch, Howard, and you get batters out, you can be 5'2".
Brent Lillibridge, the batter, and this young man is someone of whom you spoke on the Open. Very highly touted prospect. Started the year in Double-A, Mississippi, then to Triple-A, hit .287. He has power, he has speed, and he's an excellent shortstop. 1 ball, 1 strike. Has a sore shoulder and a sore wrist, but just a terrific acquisition. They got him from the Pittsburgh Pirates in the offseason.
That's the breaking ball right there that Comini has. And it's, he was the Hawaiian Punch-Out. That's why he has that good breaking ball. In college, if you've got that's going to be good. But you got to be able to throw your fastball for strikes in pro ball.
Lillibridge lines it to right center field. Blasey hauls it in. He didn't take the best route to the ball, but nevertheless caught up to it.
Sometimes speed can overcome errors in routes, but
okay, let's pan around the Sacramento Rivercats defensively. Brent Colomanero at first, Kevin Melillo playing second, Gregorio Petit the shortstop, Lou Merluri at third base, Jorge Piedra in left, Nick Blasey in center, and Danny Putnam in right. Jeremy Brown catching. And as Tommy told you, Shane Comini pitching and a lot of first ball hitting, and Brandon Jones fouls it back. Brandon Jones hit .300 during the regular season, recalled by Atlanta Sunday, played 2 days with the Braves, permission to rejoin the Richmond Braves for this Bricktown Showdown. And a changeup is a strike, and he has a lot of talent. He runs well. He has a line drive bat with power to all fields. In the air to center field, got under it too much. Blasey is there. And a 1-2-3 inning. We've played one, no score on the Bricktown Showdown.
If you love arts, food, and music, don't miss the 6th Annual Charlotte Shout Culinary Arts Experience, September 28th and 29th at Gateway Village, Uptown Charlotte. Enjoy great food and drinks, watch your favorite chef in action, and go home fat and happy. Tickets on sale now at charlotteshout.com.
Maybe it's home improvement, higher education, or a big purchase. Whatever you're planning, a no-fee home equity line of credit from Bank of America gives you easy access to the money you need to make it happen. Call 1-800-900-9000, go online, or visit a banking center to apply in minutes with no fees or paperwork. See your ideas come to life. Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
Experience Columbus, the big city pulse of the friendly Midwest. East Coast refinement meets West Coast cool. Sophistication meets simplicity. Art is entertainment, and fun is everywhere. This is Columbus, a place to be experienced. Visit us at experiencecolumbus.com.
Pelicans, grasshoppers, manatees, tourists, biscuits. If you are now thinking of minor league baseball teams, then you are a true fan. Check out Minor League Baseball's official shop at MILB.com for all your gear. From on-the-field caps to foam fingers, you can find it all here. The shop features jerseys, caps, apparel, collectibles, and more. Get on the road to the show and visit MILB shop to see just how fashionable a Pelican can be.
If you love arts, food, and music, don't miss the 6th Annual Charlotte Shout Culinary Arts Experience, September 28th and 29th at Gateway Village, Uptown Charlotte. Enjoy great food and drinks, watch your favorite chef in action, and go home fat and happy. Tickets on sale now at charlotteshout.com.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown, and there are the Richmond Braves.
They look like the dwarfs.
The bullpen core heads out. Those guys have style.
Brandon.
Bertzerk.
Try and get the glove.
So Bertzerk is here as well.
Go on left.
Bertzerk puts on a good show. Very good show. If you haven't seen it, you should go out to your local minor league facility and watch it.
Tommy, this is what minor league baseball is all about.
You know, what we do on the field is immaterial in minor league ball. It's what happens in the stands and the stuff in between innings. It's why minor league baseball is flourishing.
In-game entertainment. The AT&T Bricktown Ballpark, and a very large crowd on hand.
Brandon.
So we move to the second inning. Jeremy Brown leads off, and Tommy, you played in both the PCL and the International League.
Yes, I did. And the International League, when I was there, was a pitcher's league, and the PCL was a hitter's league because of the high altitude and light air at most of the West Coast cities.
Jeremy Brown grounds it. That's a swinging bunt. Wes Timmons, who's a fine fielding third baseman, throws him out. Let's go to Jim Byers. Jim, where are you?
I'm under the stands with Nick Dixon, the clubhouse manager for the Richmond Braves, to take us through the preparation of the baseballs.
You just need to get some mud on your hands, use some water to soften it up, and just start working it into the ball. Basically what you want to do is take the sheen off the ball and make sure that the ball is evenly coated and each ball looks the same. You don't want white spots like that. You want it evenly, more like that. That's probably a little dark. But what we'll do is a little more water, and that'll whiten it up. And then in the bag, and on to the next one.
Brent Calamoreno is the batter, and that's in the dirt. You have some thoughts and some feelings on baseballs being rubbed up?
Well, I rubbed up baseballs for Richie Garcia, and Richie used to let me rub them up. I didn't rub them up dark enough for him. My baseballs were almost like this. He wanted them dark, like black almost.
And that's fouled back out of play, but they do have to be rubbed up to take the slickness away.
They have to be rubbed up, and personally, as a pitcher, I like the ball with very little mud on it. And Richie used to rub his up till they looked like something my kids would be playing with in a mud puddle.
Okay. He jams him, and Timmons will not have a play. There are many who feel that Wes Timmons is the best defensive third baseman in the International League. That was not an easy hop.
No, it was not an easy hop. He ranged far to his left, knocked it down, but here's he gets jammed with a breaking ball and hits one that kind of cues off the bat, and watched the ball hop up on him, and it hopped back to him and caught him on the wrist. But he's going to have a hard time. He's got to get Chipper to go over and play someplace.
And that is a base hit, by the way, and he's the first base runner of the game. You know, you mentioned the PCL being a hitter's haven. To a certain extent, it still is, although I'm told the Sacramento ballpark, Rayleigh Field, plays fair.
It is a fair ballpark. You've got to hit it hard to get it out of there, but a lot of the other ones are not.
Brian Stavisky, the designated hitter, is the batter. And that's a strike. Now, the Richmond ballpark, the Diamond, is a real pitcher's ballpark. And Dave Brundage, their skipper, was making the point we have to scratch for runs, play together, and eke out victories.
Well, they were saying that as the ballpark is big, they have to bunt, hit, and run, and do all the little things to create run-scoring opportunities.
And that's a strike. And one of the theories goes that when you have that kind of ballpark, it does make you pull together as a team.
Well, I think baseball is an individual game played as a team, but yet you've got to do things for the team. You have to give yourself up, and as a manager, you have to get that thought across to your ball players. Hit back of the runner, give yourself up for an out, and don't be selfish trying to get a base hit.
1 on, 1 out, and no score in the top of the second. Just missed the outside corner, although that's a good pitch. A 1-ball, 2-strike count.
A lot of times catchers get set up so far outside that the pitcher makes a good pitch, but it just looks to the umpire and to everybody else that the ball is way outside.
This will be a 1-2 pitch, and he missed with the breaking ball. Some catchers have a very good presentation of pitches the way they are back there.
Well, I played with one of the best, Bob Boone, and a lot of umpires said, I'm not going to let Boone con me in to calling strikes. And so you would throw a close pitch, and Bob would present it very well, and the umpires would say, well, he's trying to get me to call that a strike, and I know it's a ball, it's a ball.
He was too good, it sounds like.
He was very good, and the umpires thought that he was conning him.
A 2-2 count, and that's a fair ball past Timmons, a base hit. Brandon Jones up with it. Colin Moreno stops at second, so the back-to-back hits. One to the left of Wes Timmons, one to the right of Wes Timmons. That's the thing about third base.
That's why they call it the hot corner. Look at that ball scorched by the third baseman Timmons. But the most important batter that Boyers faced was Jeremy Brown. He got the first batter out. Now, he's one pitch away from getting a ground ball double play out of the inning. Baseball is a game of first.
Here is Gregorio Petit hitting .277, 2 homers and 28 RBI. 2 men on with 1 man out. And there's a strike, and all 3 batters in the inning have hit the ball to the third baseman, Wes Timmons. There are periods of inactivity, though, at third base. Sometimes you'll go 5 innings without a ball being hit to you.
Well, it just depends, I think, on the stuff of the pitcher. If you're a left-handed pitcher, that was an outstanding breaking ball. But if you're a left-handed pitcher, like myself or Guidry, watch this breaking ball. That was outside. You couldn't draw it up any better with an easel. But third basemen sometimes will get a lot of balls, so sometimes they'll get 1 in 9 innings.
This will be a 2-strike pitch. And he stays alive, and that's what you call spoiling a pitch, middle of the plate away.
Well, Pettit's not the greatest of hitters, but many times if you can't handle a pitch and it's a strike, the best thing that you can do is foul it off and wait for the pitcher to give you one more, and then maybe he might make a mistake on the next offering.
2 men on with 1 man out. And he waved at that breaking ball. And that is strike 3, and there are 2 away. When you see a hitter do that, you certainly file that.
What? As a pitcher, I'm throwing that breaking ball, and his Fanny was in the Richmond dugout, and he swings one-handed. I'm putting it in my memory bank, saying, "Whoa! If I get in trouble, and I've got to get somebody out, I'm going to get Pettit up there and try to pitch to him." And get him out with my breaking ball.
Okay, 2 away, and here is Kevin Melillo, one of 5 left-hand batters in the Sacramento lineup. Ball 1. That pitch was very close. Melillo hitting .262 during the regular season. We talked about the popularity of minor league baseball, and minor league baseball set another attendance record for the 4th consecutive year this year, drawing 42.6 million fans. Now, is that fan-friendly?
That is fan-friendly.
2 balls and no strikes. The runner at second is Brent Colomoreno, and the runner at first, Brian Stavisky. There are 2 men out. No score in the top of the second. There's his fastball, and it misses, and he's behind 3-0.
I think Boyer's a little upset on the first pitch. You saw him kind of motion to the umpire was the ball in. I think the catcher messed him up there. The catcher was moving outside, and the ball was back towards the inside part of the plate, and you mentioned that was a very good pitch. It was probably a strike.
And that's a strike. Sometimes in that situation, he was taking all the way. 2 on, 2 out, a 3-0 count. You may give a hitter a green light.
I never had my hitters this summer take 3-0, unless we're down in the game. If you've got a hitters, guys where you can score, swing the bat.
And he fouls it back, and you're showing confidence in them.
Well, you're showing confidence, but if you're ever going to get a fastball, 3-0 count is the one that you can absolutely sit dead red fastball.
And baseball is a game of counts. And weaker hitters with a count in their favor are better than better hitters when the count's against them.
Absolutely.
So now with the full count and 2 men out, automatic starts for the base runners. Left field, it may twist foul at will, and it goes out of play. So it holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. So look at Lane Boyer, big guy, 6'3". And the fans enjoying themselves.
I saw him in the hotel this morning walking around, and they told me that's the pitcher tonight, and he is a big young man, very big. Have a pitcher's body. It's not really bulky, but it's strong looking, strong legs. 26 years old, 6'3", 215 pounds. Runners will be going. And he threw him the breaking ball, 3-2, and Gregor Blanco is there. Side retired. Boy, we have a tasty treat coming up for you. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
An all-new Contender, tonight at 10 p.m. on ESPN.
Hi there.
Bill, what are you doing here?
Just thought I'd drop by with the terms of your refinancing.
Well, actually, I'm refinancing at Lending Tree.
You're choosing Lending Tree over me?
Look, you're a good mortgage broker. But Lending Tree has better service. They even have loan specialists to help me through the whole process.
But, Dad, I'm your son.
I know you are, Billy. I know.
Join the 20 million people getting a better loan at Lending Tree. When banks compete, you win.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown. No score in the bottom of the second. Let's go down to Jim Byers.
Nothing goes better than baseball and hot dogs, and the Oklahoma Redhawks have brought the best of the major leagues right here to the Dog Pound at AT&T Bricktown Ballpark. You can get authentic Chicago Red Hots, Cincinnati Cheese Coney, Dodger Dog, Fenway Frank, or the Milwaukee Brat, all to enjoy during the game. This is a tough choice. Tommy, I better know what your favorite is.
Hey, Jim, you got that right here. The Dodger Dog. Absolutely. I raised my German Shepherd on Dodger Dogs. This is the best. The absolute best.
Remember, we're partners.
You can have half of them.
It's awfully nice of you. As we go to the bottom of the second, Larry Bigby flies out to the left fielder. Jorge Piedra. Let's go. Look at Jim. Look at Jim Byers. Jimbo is having a wonderful time tonight. He is savoring every bite. He is the voice of the Oklahoma Redhawks. Shane Comine on the hill has retired all 4 batters he's faced, and now Doug Clark hitting .275 during the regular season. And Dave Brundage, the skipper, made the point that he provided this team with great leadership. There's a swing and a miss. One ball and 1 strike. No score in the bottom of the second. And that's a strike, and he clipped the outside corner.
Troy Fullwood in the International League has a pretty good strike zone for everybody, actually. He's a little wide outside.
Well, I think
but that's good.
He's an excellent umpire.
He is. He's very good.
There is Leon Roberts, a man against whom you played for many years. I asked Leon about facing you, and he said, he never struck me out. I just walked away with an 0 for 4 every time. And he fans, Comini fans Clark, and there are 2 away. Said, we'll look at it again. 2 up and 2 down.
Comini does not possess a blazing fastball, but sometimes out of a pitcher's hand at 89 or 90, the ball looks faster than it does at 93 out of somebody else's hand. And right there was a fastball belt high or slightly above at 89 miles an hour, and he couldn't get around on it.
Part of that is because of arm speed and hand speed. Carlos Mendez grounds one up the middle, and he has the first base hit of the game for Richmond. So Mendez singles to center.
Comini's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, and the Braves are going up there swinging at a lot of first pitches.
During tonight's telecast, just beyond the reach of Petit, during tonight's telecast, Tommy, Jim, and I will be selecting the ticket return play of the game. Ticket Return, the leading ticket provider in minor league baseball. Now you wonder if something is wrong out there with the starting pitcher.
Well, as soon as that ball was hit, all of a sudden the catcher went out to the mound, the pitching coach went out to the mound, and now Walt Harn, the veteran athletic trainer, is out there. Let's watch the pitch. Watch the pitcher. He throws the ball and just walks off to the side. Didn't look like anything bothered him.
Right, couldn't really tell anything at all. But he is going to leave the game. So Shane Comini will leave the game. Here in the
well, the catcher's waving him in, waving the trainer and the manager out to the mound.
And there is the new Sacramento pitcher, Kaz Tadano. So Tadano coming in. He is from Japan. And Tadano, 6 feet, 180 pounds, 27 years old. And he will be given as much time as he needs to get ready because of the injury. You know, there are 2 major leagues in Japan. You've got the Central League, which does not have a designated hitter, and the Pacific League, which does have a DH.
Well, I think as the Pacific Rim gets discovered more and more ball clubs send their scouts over, you'll see more and more Asian players in this league. Heavens knows.
And while Tadano's getting ready, we'll take this break. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
What can you do when you have a rich, unique blend of culture, cuisine, and climate all in one amazing place? You can do it all.
To plan your trip to Albuquerque, visit itsatrip.org.
We've never had the pleasure of meeting.
Our kids play different sports.
You wouldn't recognize me at the dry cleaners. But if you ever need it, I'm ready to save your life.
When you help the American Red Cross, you help America.
opportunity.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown. No score, bottom of the second. Let's go to Jim Byers, who has an update on the injury.
All right, thank you, Howard. Shane Comine passed me in the tunnel on the way back, along with trainer Waldhorn. They're taking him to the training room. It's a little early. We don't have a specific injury report other than tightness in his right arm. Don't have any more details as of this time.
Thank you, Jim. So, Tadano continues to warm up. Tommy, these two leagues both have wonderful traditions, both over 100 years old.
Well, I was looking at some of the stats in the Coast League. Anthony Lazzari, push him up, Tony Lazzari, holds the league record, 60 home runs, but he also holds the record for 222 RBIs. But he played at Salt Lake City, and that's one of the ballparks that the ball does fly out of.
And they played very lengthy schedules.
Well, they played over 200 games, and they used to go city to city, and they would stay 1 week at a time. So your road trips would be 2 weeks long, and you would play 1 week at, let's say, Hollywood, and the next week you would stay and play Los Angeles. And it made it for a long year, but easy travel.
And Tony Lazzari would then go on and start second base for the New York Yankees for many years.
And there was also a guy, I think his name was DiMaggio, played for the San Francisco Seals.
That's right, and everybody talks about Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak with the Yankees.
He had 61 here.
With San Francisco, he had 61 in the PCL.
Something tells me that he could hit.
Yes, he never jumped at the ball.
No.
So we're ready to go. International League with a wonderful history, celebrating its 125th anniversary next year. And George Sisler Jr. and Harold Cooper, former presidents and GMs, will be inducted into the IL Hall of Fame next year. Wes Timmons takes the strike. Look at Joe DiMaggio. He got to the big leagues with the Yankees. He was an instant superstar in 1936.
You know, he told me he was not the best ball player in his family. Vince was a better hitter. Dom was a better fielder. But I could do everything better than all of them.
And he was known as the first real complete player who did all five things. And when San Francisco had him, he's from San Francisco, the Yankees purchased this contract. There wasn't a farm system back then. And that's a ball down and away.
Well, I played in the International League. I was 1 year out of high school, out of Terre Haute, Indiana, Terre Haute Gerstmeyer. And I was in the International League, and our owner at Jacksonville was a guy named Roberto Maduro. Bobby Maduro left Cuba when Castro took over. He owned the Havana Sugar Kings back then.
That's right to the second baseman. And Molino has it, and the side is retired. No score after two. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
Not so fast, my friend. USC's going to win this one, baby, and I'm going to tell you why. Man, that's solid gold. Let's get some shut-eye. Big game tomorrow. Good night.
Do you know Game Day? Go to collegegameday.com to find out. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Yeah, it was so simple to switch.
So now our phone's not from the phone company?
Right. Time Warner Cable Home Phone Service is easy to use.
And it's reliable?
Of course. And we pay fewer fees than the phone company.
It's Uncle Billy. Your brother calling at dinner time. That's reliable.
Hello, Billy.
Get home phone service from Time Warner Cable. Talk all you want with home phone service for $39.95 a month. Call 1-800-OK-CABLE. Another great service delivered over Time Warner Advanced Fiber Network.
On September 28th, come to Roseland Ballroom to watch the might of America take on the pride of Russia in a kickboxing frenzy. Go to Ticketmaster.com for Muay Thai Mayhem 10.
As we look at the Bricktown area, welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown. No scores. We go to the top half of inning number 3, the AT&T Bricktown Ballpark. We have Dave Brundage, the manager of the Richmond Braves. Dave, we congratulate you on winning the Governor's Cup. Take us back to Saturday when your ball club, down 2-1, had to win 2 games, and you won them both.
Well, I tell you, it was a nice accomplishment. Certainly, tough on a doubleheader. I don't believe I've ever won a championship on a doubleheader, but I believe, going into Game 1, if we had an opportunity for Game 1 and getting that opportunity, certainly I better keep my eye over here. I just thought with our backs against the wall, certainly the momentum Game 1, we played 6 doubleheaders over the course of the season. We were 11-1 in doubleheaders. We'd swept 5 of them. It just kind of gave us confidence in that manner.
Dave, Tommy John, did you think that you had enough pitching to cover the 14 innings in the 2 games? I
don't ever think I ever have enough pitching, to tell you the truth. From that standpoint, I think, going into the ball game with 14 innings, I mean, actually it was 18 innings, actually. Winning both ball games were 9 innings.
Whoa.
It was, it's the way the game should be played.
How would you characterize this year's Richmond Braves?
With a lot of heart. I tell you, I always say, we may not be the most talented team, but this team comes to win. This organization comes to win every day, and it's a credit to our organization.
You do a lot of things. You hit and run, bunt a lot, steal bases. Is that your style of play, or just with this team?
No, it's always been my style. I believe that's how you teach them to play the game and prepare them and develop them for the major leagues. And if you're going to run the base, you better run the base as well. From bunting standpoint, hitting and running, you got to do the little things. And if you're not going to teach them to do the little things, you're going to sit around and play for a 3-run homer all your life. Things aren't going to happen.
Your feelings on how Blaine Boyer's thrown the ball tonight?
He's certainly coming out. I was just kind of seeing nerves off the get-go. He came out throwing strikes, pounding the zone, and that's how you're going to beat this club. You got to pound the zone. You've got to work ahead.
Dave, we thank you and we congratulate you on an outstanding year.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Danny Putnam draws a walk. That is Dave Brundage, who is from Oregon. Terrific manager there representing the East Coast International League. Meanwhile, Tony DeFrancisco is from the Bronx, and he manages in California. So Putnam draws a leadoff walk here in the top of the 3rd. And here's Nick Blasey, who looked at strike 3, opening up the ball game. He's on a 3-2 pitch.
As Dave was saying, this Sacramento team is a typical Billy Bean type ball club. They take a lot of pitches, and they're like 150, 160 more walks than Richmond, so they take a lot of pitches. They're patient in the strike zone. Contrasting, if you're going to pitch against them, you've got to go after them, strike 1, strike 2, and then try to force them to chase the ball out of the strike zone.
No score in the top of the 3rd. That's the first walk of the game with the runner going. What a beautifully executed hit and run that was by Blasey. And Putnam continues on to 3rd. The only concern would be if Putnam would get hit with the ball, but perfectly executed.
And for me, for Tommy John, I love the hit and run. I think the hit and run is one of the best plays in baseball because even if it doesn't work, the ground ball will generally get the runner over to second base. And if it does work, now you got runners on 1st and 3rd, and now you've got Merlone at the plate, then you can start dealing now.
And you're right, Tommy. Sometimes with a perfectly executed hit and run, it can be the beginning of a big inning.
Well, I know he said that you don't play for three-run homers, but generally you win games with a lot of runs in 1 inning.
Lou Merlone, the batter, he flied to right his first time up. So 2 on, nobody out. And he gets under it. Should be deep enough to score the run. Jones is way back. Boy, that ball kept on carrying, and it goes out of here for a 3-run home run. Lou Merlone belts a 3-run homer, and the wind blowing out that way aided it, and it's 3-0 Sacramento.
Well, they talked about the veteran Lou Merlone with the C on his chest, and that's why they gave him the C right there.
Well, he had 3 home runs during the regular season.
That was a high hanging breaking ball, and Merlone watched the uppercut. Swung right up, hit the ball. I didn't think he got it that well. The left fielder drifted on the ball. You see him drifting like he's got a chance, but the wind blowing out about 25 miles an hour carried it out of the park.
So it's 3-0, and Jorge Piedra takes the strike. He grounded out his first time up. And that's over the outside corner. Usually when the left fielder thinks the ball will be gone, he'll hustle back immediately.
Right. And hopefully that you can get back to the wall and maybe jump and catch it as it goes over.
Well, many a rally started like this one with a leadoff walk.
You cannot believe, I managed 126 games this year. Almost every rally started with the pitcher walking the first hitter of the inning.
And that's one of the reasons why you were such a terrific pitcher. You didn't walk people.
Well, I tried not to. I tried. That was the... But I had a manager, Al Lopez, told me, he said, I can get a truck driver out there to try.
That's a foul back out of play. Al Lopez, one of the great managers of all time.
Absolutely one of the best. The serene senor, but don't get him too mad.
Hall of Fame manager.
Yes, he is. Hall of Fame manager and one of the great all-time catchers. There's Lou Merlone. Yes, sir.
And Merlone is from Framingham, Massachusetts. He played for the Boston Red Sox for 6 years, and boy, was he popular with the Red Sox fans.
Well, he has to be, and he talks like him up there. The yard.
He's a winning type player and a veteran, 35 years old.
You know, the way baseball is now, Howard, you know, AAA players, I mean, teams can get 6-year free agents. And if you need somebody to fill a gap on your team, you go out and get a guy like Merlone to fill that gap.
And that's in the hole, and that's a base hit for Piedra. And 4 consecutive men have reached base safely. You know, Tommy, you were making the point earlier about coming out of Terre Haute High School. There is so much attention in this day and age paid to the amateur draft, but prior to 1965 there was no amateur draft, so you, when you came out of high school, you were a free agent, as was every other player.
Yeah, on graduation night, you know, I came home to change clothes. We were having a graduation party at some lake south of Terre Haute, and there were about 10 or 12 scouts outside my house waiting one at a time to go in and talk to my mom and dad to try to sell them on their Major League Ball club to sign with them. And I eventually signed with the Cleveland Indians.
Right. And here it is, Jeremy Brown, as you see. Mendez holding. Piedra. 3-0 Sacramento. And that's a strike. Now, you mentioned Billy Bean and Billy Ball. And the best-selling book, this young man, Jeremy Brown, who's now 27, was featured in there. He's out of the University of Alabama. And the scouts said, we don't know about this guy. Billy said, I love his on-base percentage. I think he's going to be a good player. And they drafted him.
You know, Billy Ball actually started with, my mind went blank. Started with, no.
No balls and 2 strikes. And that's a nice play by Timmons. There's one to Rosema, and Mendez unable to scoop it. Billy Bean, the general manager of the A's.
Well, Billy got his start under Sandy Alderson. When Sandy Alderson took over the A's, Sandy was an attorney. He had no idea about baseball, so he went back and studied the history of baseball, what the good teams had and what they didn't have. And he figured out that they all were at the top of the league in runs scored, RBIs, and good pitching. So what he did is he started figuring that out, that he wanted guys to be on base, figuring that that's the best way to score runs.
Brent Calamoreno hits it in the air to left field and deep. Jones goes back. The wind gets a hold of it, and that's a home run. The other way, a 2-run blast, and it's 5-0. So 2 home runs in the inning. And a 5-0 game. Here we restore this going to the third. A 3-run homer, a 2-run homer. Earl Weaver would be proud of these guys.
Yes, he would. Watch the ball out over the plate, but it's up about belt high. And that's a fat part home run right there. The ball's centered about belt high, buckle high on the outside half of the plate.
Brian Stavisky takes a strike, and you like the fact that he went with the pitch and went the other way.
Well, the ball, like I said, was outside part of the plate, and instead of trying to pull it, probably hitting a fly ball to right center, went with it and hit a home run to left field.
Earl Weaver used to always talk about 3-run homers, pitching, some 3-run homers.
Pitching, defense, and 3-run homers, and that's the other thing that Sandy Alderson found out. All the great teams had good pitching, good defenses, and they scored a lot of runs. But Earl Weaver was one of the first guys to ever come up with statistics to play certain players against certain pitchers.
And that is strike 3, swinging in there 2 away. And I'll tell you another smart thing that Sandy Alderson did, and that was hiring Tony La Russa to manage the A's.
Well, Sandy Alderson was a very, very, very smart man.
There's action in the bullpen for the Richmond Braves. And the left-hander out there is Francisco Bueno. So Bueno, the left-hander, in the bullpen. And Gregorio Petit takes the ball. We're in the top of the third. It is 5-0 in favor of Sacramento.
Bueno's the pitcher that had the no-hitter going last time.
Right. Mm-hmm. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And he ran out of pitches, I think, in the 6th inning. He was right at 100, and they took him out of the game with a no-hitter.
Up the middle, Lillibridge. On to Mendez. Side retired. 8 men come to the plate. 2 home runs in the inning. And we played 2.5. It is 5-0 Sacramento. Well, let's watch them. There are the 2 home runs. The first one by Merloni. And the second one by Calamoreno. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
Jeremy, do your bobbleheads do anything?
No. They just sit there.
You mean you can't see the player's swing or pitch?
No, it just sits there.
Introducing Rocket Magic by Novel T-Shirts. As our dolls rock, the players come to life through the magic of lenticular technology. Your fans will clamor for them. Your sponsors will brag about them. But the only place you can get Rocket Magic is from Novel T-Shirts. Don't just sit there. See what the magic is all about. Novel T-Shirts, a major supplier to minor league baseball.
What can you do when you have a rich, unique blend of culture, cuisine, and climate all in one amazing place? You can do it all.
To plan your trip to Albuquerque, visit itsatrip.org.
So, what kind of financial help are you looking for? Maybe you need insurance to help protect you. Benefits to help your business reach new heights. Or a retirement plan to invest for the future. Then again, maybe there's someone who can help with all of those things. The Principal Financial Group will give you an edge.
Hi, I'm Mayor Niall Maxwell, welcoming you to the sports capital of Texas, Round Rock. When you're looking for that perfect spot to bring your youth sports team, Round Rock, Texas has it all. World-class facilities, competitive teams, new hotels, great restaurants, and friendly people, all located in the heart of Texas. No matter where you're from, Round Rock is your place for world-class youth sports. So grab your team, bring your tournament, and take that short drive to Round Rock, the sports capital of Texas.
The Superstars here tonight as we welcome you back to the Bricktown Showdown. Sacramento ahead 5-0. Look at that young man. He's having a terrific time at the ballpark. And we have a special guest, the manager of the Sacramento River Cats, Tony DeFrancisco. Tony, we congratulate you on another PCL championship. Tell us about Shane Comini, your pitcher, who left with an injury.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He had some stiffness in his shoulder, so he went back into the clubhouse with our trainer, Walt Horn, and hopefully he'll be okay. Just a little stiffness. I think he'll be fine.
This is your third PCL championship in 5 years. How does this one compare to the other two?
You know what? They're all special. You know, every year you get back to the playoffs and a chance to go to the championship round, and you know, I'm so proud of these players in this dugout right now that it's hard to explain what they went through the whole summer. So many transitions, so many players coming and going, and it doesn't matter. They keep stepping up each game, and we're off to a pretty good start here right now.
Tony, Tommy John.
Hey, Tommy, how's it going?
Good, thank you. Hey, you got one of my favorite pitchers on your staff, Julio Magnon. When did you get Magnon?
Yeah, we got him in a trade probably in June sometime from the Cincinnati Reds, and he's been a great addition to our bullpen. And you've seen him throw, Tommy, some great stuff, good split, good slider, aggressive with his fastball, and you're going to see him in this game here probably 7th or 8th inning, guaranteed.
Tony, Lou Merlone belted a 3-run homer. What does he mean to your ball club?
Yeah, if you look at it, if you get a close-up of his shoulder, his jersey there, there's a C on that. And after we won the championship, I give Lou an opportunity to represent the River Cats as our team captain, and he took it, and he hits a 3-run homer here in the 3rd inning. And you know, I couldn't be more proud of him. What a great guy and a great person.
Tony, we thank you. We congratulate you on another championship.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Mike Rosema leading off for Richmond, and he has a 3-2 count on him. Rosema played A-ball and double-A ball this year from Ridgewood, New Jersey. Tony DeFrancisco's from the Bronx. This will be a 3-2 pitch. And a good pitch in on his hands. And it holds at 3-2. You talk about great moments. And the International League, 1981, the longest game in professional baseball history.
Right.
Rochester and Pawtucket.
The manager that I worked with was at Rochester at the Baltimore organization, Dave Huppert.
That is strike 3 swinging, and there's one away.
And I believe Hutt caught all the innings, except when they came back. He caught like the first 24 or 5. Kaz Tadano, one thing you can tell about Japanese pitchers, and you can put it in the book, generally speaking, they throw strikes, and they will not walk you. They can throw the ball low and away, up and in, and they can throw it with all 3 pitches, or 4 pitches, or 5 pitches, however many they have.
Iker Franco bounces it to the shortstop. Petit, Andu, Calamoreno, and they're 2 away. Rochester and Pawtucket. April of 1981, and 2 future Hall of Famers,
Wade Boggs and Cal Ripken Jr.
They played in that ball game. They played 32 innings and finally suspended it, made it up, and finished it 33-inning ball game. But it was played in a crisp 8 hours and 25 minutes. Now, the guys who were playing it certainly were tired, but you're part of history when you're involved with something like that.
Yeah, 8 hours.
Gregor Blanco
That's like a job.
takes a strike.
That's like a job. You have to have a lunch pail for that.
No balls and a strike. Blanco led the league in runs scored, and that is a very important stat. 81 runs scored.
That's how you win ball games. You get guys on, move them over, and get guys to drive them in,
and a nice play by Tadano, who will go to the bag for the unassisted putout. 3 up, 3 down. It is 5-0 Sacramento after 3 on the Bricktown Showdown.
I'm feeling like Mr. Lucky today.
This is Oklahoma City's shining moment.
Things seem to be going my way.
So plan your visit and be a part of it.
The reason I've got this big smile on my face.
Call or go online for free spur-of-the-moment savings on OKC Adventure. How lucky is that?
Things seem to be going my way.
Jeremy, do your bobbleheads do anything?
No, they just sit there.
You mean you can't see the player swing or pitch?
No, it's there.
Introducing Rocket Magic by Novel T-Shirts. As our dolls rock, the players come to life through the magic of lenticular technology. Your fans will clamor for them. Your sponsors will brag about them. But the only place you can get Rocket Magic is from Novel T-Shirts. Don't just sit there. See what the magic is all about. Novel T-Shirts, a major supplier to minor league baseball.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown. Sacramento leading 5-0. Let's go down to Jim Byers.
We are here with Goose Gossage, former relief great, and our winner this year of the Most Spectacular Pitcher Award for the second year in a row. The minor league pitcher with the lowest earned run average among ERA qualifiers will win this award, sponsored by Vytorin. And here to make a presentation is Goose.
My pleasure to be here, and it takes me back to my old days when I was a young kid, and I wish my career was starting all over. This kid's building a great foundation for a great future, and he's got a great future ahead of him, and I'm awful proud to be here on behalf of Vytorin, and it's just great to be here.
From the Augusta Green Jackets of the South Atlantic League, Kevin Pusetas, the ERA winner this year, and Goose, is this an opportunity for relief pitchers to get more credit? Your candidacy for the Hall of Fame is one way. Are awards like this another way?
Well, I think awards are what keep us, the recognition that we get through these awards. But relief pitching, you just never know where you're going to end up. I had my sights set on relief pitching, so who knows where he's going to end up. But like I said before, he's building a great foundation for a great future, and it's a great stepping stone.
Once again, the MSP Award sponsored by Vytorin. What does Kevin Pusetas win for getting this award?
He gets a check for $7,500 on behalf of the company, and what a thrill it is for me to present this check to him.
All right, congratulations, Kevin, and Goose Gossage. Always great to have you in town. Thanks so much for joining us. Good luck in the Hall of Fame voting next year, too.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Let's go back up to Howard and Tommy.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. The Goose, a former teammate of yours.
Yes, he was. He was an adversary when I was with the Dodgers, and then we were teammates when we were with the Yankees.
And the new pitcher, whom you see, Francis Bueno, coming in, and I feel very strongly that Goose belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Bruce Sutter, if Bruce Sutter's in the Hall of Fame, and if Raleigh Fingers is in the Hall of Fame, Gossage should be in the Hall of Fame. That's the way I feel.
Kevin Melillo takes outside. He flied to center his first time up. It is 5-0 in favor of Sacramento. The Goose would come in and close games. He'd pitch 2 2/3 innings.
He would pitch 2 or 3 innings, yeah. It was not uncommon to see him out there. In fact, Billy Martin brought him in one game. I wasn't having a very good night in Anaheim, and Goose came in and pitched the last 4.
And that's a ball outside, and he was dominant.
Yes. And he would pitch 3 innings and come back the next night and pitch 1, and come back the next night and pitch 1, and wouldn't think anything of it, and throw the ball just as well. And as rough and as hard-nosed as Goose is, when he would ride to the airport, my kids would sit in the back and they would pull at his whiskers and call him Goosey.
Melillo hits it in the air to the left side, and the third baseman, Timmons, has it. There's one away. So 1 up and 1 down in the top half of the 4th inning. Sacramento with a couple of home runs, a 3-run job and a 2-run blast in the 3rd inning for a 5-0 lead. We mentioned Wade Boggs a few moments ago as Danny Putnam stands in, and Wade Boggs could have been taken in the Rule 5 draft. Putnam fouls that off his leg. No balls and a strike before he emerged as the terrific hitter that he became, but everybody passed on him. It's a fascinating game.
What's this swing and watch him foul the ball straight down off that front ankle. Oh. You don't know how that hurts. I did it once in my career. Once. And I thought I was going to throw up in the batter's box. That's how sick I got. And you're laying on the ground, wallowing around like a big tuna.
Serves you right for making contact.
I know it.
And that's a strike. And speaking of the Rule 5 draft, Johan Santana was taken in the Rule 5 draft. He came up with Houston, pitched several years for them. Didn't have the great changeup at that time, but look at the pitcher he's become. Rosema on to Mendez. And they're at 2 away. Major League Baseball on ESPN continues tomorrow night as Ken Griffey Jr. and the Cincinnati Reds head to Wrigley Field to take on Alfonso Soriano and a Cubs team fighting for a spot in the postseason. Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Goodyear as part of the Hunt for October, presented by Holiday Inn on ESPN at 8 o'clock Eastern. Some may see ESPN News in selected areas. For more info, log on to ESPN.com. And what a game. The Cubs won from the Reds last night, 3 in the bottom of the ninth to pull it out.
Lou Piniella's gotten the Cubs playing much better baseball than those guys ever thought.
And that's a ball outside. You were a teammate of his?
When I was a teammate of his, and I also played under him as a player. He was my manager. Those guys with the Cubs had no idea what they were getting into when Lou came in there, and you know, he would rant, rave, maybe knock food off the table, but he would get your attention.
Nick Blasey, the batter. He is struck out, and he had a big hit-and-run single to right, which opened up the inning, and he later scored. There's a Cubs fan. Cubs are a game ahead of the Brewers. You have 4 great divisional races, plus the wild card battles in the big leagues now. And a 3-1 count on Blasey. We should point out the International League is structured the same way that Major League Baseball is, with 3 divisions, the winners, and a wild card, while the Pacific Coast League has 4 4-team divisions and a winner from each. And that is a full count.
And the Coast League is so spread out. When I was there, we were coaching up in Edmonton, and Edmonton was the farthest north, so you only went east to Nashville, Memphis, New Orleans, Okie City here one time, and the rest of them you would make your 3 trips in.
This will be a 3-2 pitch. Rosema with a very nice play, and he gets him. Rosema to Mendez. Excellent play by the second baseman. 3 up, 3 down. We'll look at this again. Rosema to his backhand side. Sacramento leading 5-0, the Bricktown Showdown.
Hey, I went to the bank today.
Say, honey, I'm not going to be able to help out as much as I wanted to.
Baseball. What changed to 4 o'clock? No running in the house.
Who is this other kid?
Some friend of Jane's had a meeting or something, so I said he could stay home.
Want a faster way to get things done?
My sister's coming in this evening.
Get your life insurance from SBLI.
Oh, that's fine. Listen, honey, I'm going to need the car all day.
With SBLI, you can get a free quote over the phone, even apply over the phone. Call SBLI for your free quote.
Where's the phone?
I don't know where it is.
He's berserk. Berserk. He's got some quirks. Berserk. Watch him work.
Well, I'm lean and mean, yellow, purple, and green. I'm the baddest bird you've ever seen. So sit right down and watch me work. You know my name. It's Berserk.
Berserk. He's berserk. Berserk. He's got some quirks. Berserk. Watch him work. Berserk.
Pelicans, grasshoppers, manatees, tourists, biscuits. If you are now thinking of minor league baseball teams, then you are a true fan. Check out minor league baseball's official shop at MILB.com for all your gear. From on-the-field caps to foam fingers, you can find it all here. The shop features jerseys, caps, apparel, collectibles, and more. Get on the road to the show and visit MILB's shop to see just how fashionable a Pelican can be.
Hi, I'm Mayor Niall Maxwell, welcoming you to the sports capital of Texas, Round Rock. When you're looking for that perfect spot to bring your youth sports team, Round Rock, Texas has it all. World-class facilities, competitive teams, new hotels, great restaurants, and friendly people, all located in the heart of Texas. No matter where you're from, Round Rock is your place for world-class youth sports. So grab your team, bring your tournament, and take that short drive to Round Rock, the sports capital of Texas.
ESPN's presentation of the Bricktown Showdown, brought to you by Oklahoma City. The Oklahoma City Convention and Visitors Bureau welcomes the 2007 Bricktown Showdown. And Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown as we get ready for the bottom of the fourth, 5-0 in favor of Sacramento. Brent Lillibridge takes the ball, and it's 1-1. He flied to center his first time up. He hit safely in the first 9 postseason games for these Richmond Braves. And a 1-2 count on him. Sedano has done a very nice job. He's retired all 4 hitters whom he's faced.
Well, he has a unique motion, and I like it because he hides the ball very well, and when you hide the ball, it makes it look, it's a little more illusional.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Deception is so important.
We'll watch him. He breaks his hands out over his knees. We'll watch him break him out over his knees and get his arms extended from his body. I like that because I think the pitching motion is a circle.
And that's a foul.
As a foul ball instead of like a chicken or a duck or something.
F-O-U-L.
Right.
Okay. Tell us about that circle, about the pitching motion.
Well, when I was with the White Sox, Ray Berries, who was also a great catcher, was Al Lopez's coach. And he just taught me to stand next to a wall and make a circle with my arm. And he said, that's the motion.
And he fouls off another one.
And he said, if you can make the circle and come up, one, your body hides your arm, hides the ball, and then it looks like the ball's on them quicker because they can't pick it up way out. And it made sense to me, and I bought into it.
One of the things you see more and more pitchers going to now, he's not doing, is a no windup delivery. That's to the third baseman. Maloney recovers and throws him out. One away, and let's go down to Jim Byers.
And we are here with the presidents of the respective AAA leagues. On my right, Randy Mobley of the International League. On my left, Branch Rickey of the Pacific Coast League. Randy, let me ask you first, another big year for minor league baseball and AAA in general, and it culminates with another nice crowd here at this event.
It's been a great year for minor league baseball, a new all-time attendance record, and AAA baseball up over 14 million people again this year. And again, our crown jewel event here at the end of the season.
You have a new franchise coming in next year.
We do. We'll have a relocation of our Ottawa franchise down to the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania. We're excited about that.
Branch Rickey, your side is up here in this game. PCL won the game last year. You have some bragging rights over your colleague here, Mr. Mobley, when the PCL wins, if they do in fact win this year.
You can certainly feel the tension mounting. Our nerves are taut, but it's just a great night for baseball, great night for minor league baseball, and wonderful to be able to showcase it to the United States.
One last quick thing. This was a big year this year with the 60th anniversary of Jackie Robinson coming into the major leagues. Your grandfather did that, and how did all those celebrations make you feel?
No, it's a proud legacy for me, of course, and some wonderful celebrations went on this year, and I think it reflects very positively on baseball as our national sport.
Branch Rickey, thanks so much for joining us, and Randy Mobley as well. Great event. Send it back upstairs.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Brandon Jones strikes out swinging. There are 2 men out here in the bottom of the fourth, and Jim alluded to Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier 60 years ago. The previous year, he was in the International League with Montreal, broke the color barrier there. Larry Bigby drives it deep to right center field, and a nice play by Nick Blasey to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We've played 4, 5-0 Sacramento. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
If I'm going to build my garden around one flower, I'm starting with the Cranes bill.
Oh, a surprise pick by Emmett. Mort, your thoughts?
I like it. Along with the Floribunda, the Cranes bill is one of the workhorses of the geranium family.
Here's
Here's the kind of garden we'd plant in Denver. Emmett, be a tree. Key, be a lungwort bush. Mort, you rake.
Get expert analysis on the league's biggest stories. Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN, presented by IBM.
The Platinum ownership experience is the difference. The Lexus Platinum Dealer Network is the only way to achieve it. The combined inventory of 3 New York Lexus dealers enables them to offer you the most attractive and competitive purchase, finance, and leasing plans in the 5 boroughs, ensuring you the greatest service and amenities that will surpass any and all your expectations.
Lease the all-new Lexus IS 250 for only $389 per month.
A Platinum ownership experience can only be achieved from the Lexus Platinum Dealer Network.
Hello, Dad.
The new international one-price calling plan from Time Warner Cable.
Gina, che coincidenza! Tua mamma sta preparando il tuo piatto preferito.
Virginia? Oh.
Connect with loved ones around the world for just $19.95 a month.
Quizás si acerco el teléfono la puedes oler.
Presque. Oh, vous me manquez terriblement.
Time Warner Cable digital cable customers, sign up for digital phone service and add international one price today. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Okay, welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown, and there it is, the Bassmasters Casting Kits Contest. North Oklahoma City, right here. Some terrific young fishermen. The future fishermen.
Might be another Jimmy Houston. Kick that bass out of the water, kiss it on the lips, and put it back in. I believe that was Alex Alex Rodriguez. Whale Gretzky. Yeah, that's Alex Rodriguez. A frog. You know, I've seen those guys about 4 times this year, and they have different characters at different parks. They're on the road all the time, and they sit there and do that crazy stuff, and you've seen it, and you sit there and laugh at it like you've never seen it before.
It's good. Very entertaining. I was going to kick out of Harry Canary.
Harry Canary, especially when he sings, "Oh, 1, 2."
Lou Merlone. There's a swing and a miss. As a young man in Terre Haute, I bet you listened to Harry Carey broadcast the Cardinals.
I grew up listening to Harry Carey, Jack Buck, and Joe Garagiola, 3 men in the booth at radio at that time doing Cardinal games. And then I had Harry call games for me with the White Sox.
And Lou Merlone pops it up. And Carlos Mendez has it. And you play with the Dodgers, and Vince Scully has been the Dodgers broadcaster since 1950.
The best. The absolute best. Right out of Fordham, the kid out of Fordham. And I think he broke in with Red Baba, just the old redhead.
Red would say that Vince Scully is my boy. His protege. Here is Jorge Piedra, who grounded out and then singled and scored.
Oh, my God.
Tommy Lasorda.
Oh. My heavens, look at that good-looking guy. Is that something? Los Angeles Angels. Tommy, here's his pitching line.
And that's fouled back and out of play.
Lasorda would throw, he had a big curveball. He would throw this big curveball, strike one, then he would knock you down, ball one, curveball, knock you down. And watch this knock you down. Franco goes into the, he needed about another foot on his slide, and then he shied away from the ball as it was coming down, thinking that it was going to hit the wall and crash into his face.
That was in the 50s, Lasorda trying to get to the big leagues. Look out. And did it hit him?
Yeah.
Yes, it did. So Piedra will be aboard, and Tommy would have the frustration of being cut from the Dodgers, but he said, look, it took Sandy Koufax to get me cut. So,
between the two managers, Alston and Lasorda, here's a sidearm fastball that he lets go a little too early and just follows Piedra in. And there's no intent. Umpires now, they jump out like there's no intent on that. He dropped down and threw a fastball, and got it a little too far inside.
Right. You were talking about Tommy Lasorda and
Tommy Lasorda and Walt Alston. Walt Alston was 0 for 10 in his 10 at-bats in the big leagues, and I think Lasorda won one game. He was like 1-5. So the guys managed 50 years in the big leagues, but they had one success as a big league player, and that was Lasorda's win.
Okay, Jeremy Brown is 0 for 2. Walter Alston managed the Dodgers from 1954 through 76, 23 one-year contracts, and a base hit for Brown. The Ager will stop at 7. So there are 2 on, 1 out, and then Tommy Lasorda, 1977, Alston's successor through 1996.
Tommy was a unique individual, and I only played for him 2 years, but I enjoyed every minute of playing for him because he made you feel like you were the most important person in the world the night that you pitched. And, you know, it's kind of nice to have people say things to you like that.
So there are 2 men on with 1 man out. Sacramento ahead 5-0. Here is Brent Calamoreno. And that's a strike.
His first year, 77, I'm starting out the season, Howard, like, I don't know, 2-3 or 2-4, something like that. I mean, I'm pitching horribly, and I get shelled in Atlanta. I lose my temper, and he tells me to go upstairs, leave the bench, go upstairs.
And that's a ball. It's 1-1.
After the game, calls me into his office. Now, he could have trashed me, but what he did is he picked the schedule up. He marked off every 5 games. He said, here are your games that you're going to pitch for the rest of the season, whether you win them all, you lose them all. We're going to win this pennant, and we're going to win it because you're going to pitch well for me.
And that is strike 2. It is so important to show confidence in your people, and he did that.
Well, I was down. I was struggling. He knew I was struggling. And if you look at my bubblegum card, in 1977, I was 20-7. So I was like 18-2 after that talk with Tommy in Atlanta early in May.
You had an excellent ERA that year, under 3. Was that your best season?
Probably.
And there is strike 3 swinging. All right, Jim Byers, where are you?
I am high above the right field wall, more than 20 feet above the playing surface. You know, the key to any ballpark is keeping it current. This ballpark's almost 10 years old. But this party deck out here was built just a couple of years ago. The idea being to have opportunity for people to have groups out here, enjoy dinner, maybe a beverage, watch the game, good look at the outfielders. In fact, we have even broadcast some innings on the radio from up here, so good panoramic view. Howard, what are some of the interesting locations over the years you broadcast some innings from?
Well, we do it from the concourse at Victory Field in addition to the broadcast booth. Harry Carey used to do it out in the bleachers in right center field with the White Sox, but
on those hot Sunday days,
right,
he'd be stripped down to his
else.
shorts. I know it. And with that body, it took a lot of people to.
Here is Brian Stavisky with 2 on and 2 out. There's a swing and a miss. Tommy, a moment ago, you alluded to that 1977 season.
Yep.
Now, those of our viewers who saw ESPN's excellent miniseries, The Bronx is Burning, saw actual footage of you. You won Game 4 against Philadelphia to get the Dodgers in the World Series.
That was probably, under the circumstances, the best game I ever pitched in my life.
And that is ball 2. You went the distance.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen now.
There's Comini back on the bench.
Walt Harn, what a great job he did. Must have massaged his shoulder, put a little ice on it. You know, nowadays, guy gets tightness in the shoulder, and they get that down. Now, here's Tadano doing his stretching exercises, keeping the groin muscles loose, stretched out.
And that is over the outside corner, so it's 2-2 with 2 on and 2 out. And Tommy John surgery has become so commonplace, unfortunately, among many young people now.
Well, it is. Jim Andrews and I sit on an international baseball board, and we talk every year, and he's getting kids 12, 13, 14 years old doing Tommy John surgery. And that's he alludes to it's almost child abuse, that the ligament cannot be torn at that age unless the kid has been pitched too many times all year long.
A 2-2 count with 2 on and 2 out. You see Sacramento ahead 5-0, 5th inning. What is your feeling on a young man who is drafted out of high school about signing out of high school or going on to college?
Well, I know there's a controversy over that. If you can pitch or you can play, I think out of high school, because you have 4 years jump on the guys or 3 years jump on the guys to get used to playing professional baseball, playing it every day. And that's the part that kills you, is playing it every day for 6 months.
Runners are going, and he just did miss, and that will load the bases.
Well, Blanco, Bueno didn't like that pitch. He threw it. Now, this ball is close to being a strike, and he thought he had it, and you can see him stare in at Fullwood, the umpire.
Call that a pitcher's pitch?
Well, yes. Tom Glavine would have gotten it. Greg Maddux would have gotten it.
Here's Dave Brundage, the manager. And Gregorio Petit has struck out and grounded out. As you look at Bueno with the bases loaded, it's a key situation, Tommy, because Sacramento already is ahead 5-0 and threatening to break it wide open.
Well, there's certain times in the game there's key at bats, and if you're going to have a chance to win, this is the most important batter of the game so far.
And he's ahead of him 0-2. What did you like to do? You're a southpaw like Bueno. What did you like to do in this situation, 0-2 with the right hand?
0-2, I tried to throw the ball. Okay, they know me. I'm going to throw a sinker. I tried to throw my sinker out of the strike zone low, hoping that they would be looking for it and chase it out of the strike zone. I couldn't throw the ball high and away, and
it was close. So you would go lower than low?
I would go lower than low. I would try to throw the ball in the dirt right on top of home plate or right back of home plate. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's a pretty good pitch right there.
That does look like an excellent pitch.
You know, and the thing about it, okay, you got 2 strikes on you and a hitter, and that ball can't be more than 2 or 3 inches off the plate. How can you take it?
This will be a 1-2 pitch, and he fouls it back out of play.
I know I was always taught, and I've heard managers that I've played for and worked with, don't let the guy in blue call you out on a close pitch. If that ball is close, you better start swinging the bat, and that's why, you know, that's why it's essential to pitch out in front. Strike 1, strike 2, and now you can expand the strike zone.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Petit with the bases loaded and 2 men out. Right field, it may hang up, and Clark makes an excellent catch, and the inning is over. Watch this again by Doug Clark. We have played 4.5. It is 5-0 Sacramento. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
He pulls up with a 3. That's number 35, Gars.
Brian, this HD is way better than mine. How many sports channels?
Over 30.
The team's gonna love this.
The team.
Oh, he's not gonna catch
Oh boy.
Where's Brian?
Ultimate sports and brilliant HD. Verizon Fios. From the most advanced fiber optic network straight to your home.
Gluttony starts now. We're like the Huns, you know, this is like all for the taking, all for the pillaging, but in a nice way.
You gotta think of me as your life coach. You know, for the fun parts.
This is my vacation too, you know? Don't drag me down.
You're saucy, I like that. Picante.
Hey, Money. Listen to him. I can get you in upstairs. I know a guy.
This summer, treat your family to all the fun
fun and adventure around Northwest Ohio. From the zoo and family attractions to sports and recreation to history and the arts, it's all here. There's so much to do, you can't possibly do it all in one day. So, do two. Start planning your summer fun with a visit to dotoledo.org. Do Toledo at dotoledo.org.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown. There's our score. Sacramento leading 5-0 as we go to the bottom half of the fifth inning. On a beautiful night in Oklahoma, Tony DeFrancisco, the manager of the Sacramento River Cats. Doug Clark leads off. Takes the ball, a man whom you and I know both very well. You faced many years, Cecil Cooper. Delighted to see him get the opportunity to manage the Houston Astros.
I think that's great. Cecil Cooper is a great ball player, but over and above that, he's a great baseball person and a great person.
Now, the thing is, you've got to have players to win, though, and the Astros have been struggling.
Well, you know, Bagwell's gone, Biggio's going.
And that is fouled. Left side and out of play. And I pose the question to you. You played for so many different managers. How important is a big league manager?
A big league manager, the teams will mirror his demeanor. Billy Martin, all of Billy's teams were feisty, even the Yankees.
There's action in the Richmond bullpen. Zach Schreiber, the right-hander, warming up.
And what you try to do, and this is my thinking.
And that's going to be trouble. That'll be in there for a base hit. And extra bases for Clark as Putnam throws it back in. Let's watch it again.
Clark gets a slow breaking ball or a splitter that just stays up and jerks it down into the corner. And I thought Clark, when he first hit it, I thought it looked like he may be trying to make a triple out of it. And then about halfway to second base, he pulled up knowing that he wouldn't have any chance. But now it's a good opportunity for the Braves to chip away at that 5-0 lead.
You love to get that leadoff man aboard when you're trailing. We're talking about the importance of a manager as Carlos Mendez stands in.
Well, a manager, to me, has to make the clubhouse a place that the guys look forward to coming to every day. If you go in there and you say, oh God, go in there, oh what a, you know, and you're all the time ragging on somebody or you're this and that, it makes it tough to play the game. It's hard enough to play as it is.
So you look at Dave Brundage, the manager of the Richmond Braves.
I worked for a guy named Dave Huppert in the minor league. Huppert's won like 1,600 games in his minor league career. I mean, and the guy is a genius when it comes to putting players on the field and getting them to play good baseball. And all the guys like him.
Well, both these managers, Dave Brundage, Tony DeFrancisco, never have been to the big leagues at all. As a player, a manager, coach. So they're just itching to get the opportunity. Tommy, I have seen so many men over the years, people like Razor Shines, Trent Jewett, Mark Bombard. I can go on and on about guys who, if given the opportunity, would do an excellent job, like Dave Tremblay got the opportunity with Baltimore. You got to get a break.
Well, you have to get a break, and it's good if you can get a break with the right team.
He chased that pitch, and that is strike three swinging. Major League Baseball on ESPN continues Friday night as two teams involved in tight division races meet. Prince Fielder and the Brewers visit Tim Hudson and the Braves. Friday Night Baseball is part of the Hunt for October, presented by Holiday Inn on ESPN at 7 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. So here is Carlos Mendez. Oh, that was Mendez. Mendez struck out, and now Wes Timmons, who lined to second his first time up. One out and a runner at second.
You know, when you're down 5-0, you got a runner at second base. And, you know, I was talking about hitting back of the runner. Well, that's fine if you want to make the game 5-1. Unfortunately, you're down 5. You got to try to get 5-2, 5-3.
Lou Merlone throws him out. Under Calamoreno, and there are two away. Remember Bill White, excellent first baseman, many years in the big leagues. We'll look at this again.
Merlone does. Oh, that's a tough hop. Came up, fielded it about the letter C high on his left chest.
Bill White would later go on to broadcast for the Yankees, become National League president. I loved his answer when he was asked how important is a manager. He said it depends on the manager, because some men will have a very positive impact, some men little impact, some men a negative impact.
Well, Joe Torre was raked over the coals. Joe Who, Clueless Joe, and all this when he was signed by the Yankees in '96. Well, now they're talking about Joe Torre going to the Hall of Fame as a manager, and, probably rightfully so. Joe Torre is a great manager, but he was a great manager when he had good players under him, because he was the same guy that he was with the Mets, the Braves, and the Cardinals.
And there's a swing and a miss, and they've got a statue of Warren Spahn outside the ballpark, and his line was, "I'm the only man who played for Casey Stengel before and after he was a genius." He played for him before he managed the Yankees, and he played for him with the Mets when he struggled. So you've got to have the players.
I like that.
Warren Spahn, born in Buffalo but lived in Oklahoma for many years.
I introduced my son Tommy to Warren Spahn at the Boston All-Star game, and I said, "Tommy, you want to meet one of the best left-handers in baseball history?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Warren Spahn coming." He said, "That little guy?" And I said, well, that's the notion now, that you've got to be big to pitch. Warren Spahn was maybe 6 feet tall, but he could pitch.
Well, you were a terrific pitcher. You won 20 games 3 times. Warren Spahn won 20 games 13 different times.
Now you see why he won 365 games, or however many games. I think it's 365, but 363? Call me I was only 2 off. But when he was 41 or 2 years old, he hooked up in a duel with Juan Marichal, 16 innings, 1-0, 16 innings.
They both threw over 200 pitches, and the game fittingly ended on a Willie Mays home run in the bottom of the 16th. But you didn't pay attention to pitch counts back then.
Your job was to pitch, and they were still throwing the ball well. And and when you saw Spahn, I batted off of him in spring training in '65 when he was with the Mets, and I got a base hit off of him to right field. He just threw a little tailing fastball out there, and then the son of a gun tried to pick me off at first base.
Oh. And that is strike 3 called, so a leadoff double by Clark and nothing else. After 5-0 Sacramento. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
The world-famous Toledo Mud Hens merchandise is on sale at mudhens.com. Experience the joy of Mudville today.
And this is the Bank of America game recap, and there's the 3-run homer by Lou Merlone to make it 3-0 Sacramento. And a moment later, the 2-run homer the other way by Brent Calamoreno, and Sacramento with a 5-0 lead. And that is our Bank of America game recap on the Bricktown Showdown. There it is. There's the line score, Tommy.
Well, Lou Merlone, I know Sacramento likes to play billy ball and take and all that stuff, but still, Nothing can get to a pitcher's, than can warm the cockles of a pitcher's heart than a 3-run homer like Merlone hit.
Takes all the pressure off. You're pitching with a lead. You can challenge hitters more.
Well, you can challenge hitters, and you know that the opposition can't do a lot of crazy stuff. Bunt, hit and run, steal, and things. They have to play it a little closer to their vest.
There's the new pitcher, Tommy, for Richmond, Zach Schreiber.
Well, the thing that stands out to two things: 11 walks in 33 innings is very good. 38 strikeouts is exceptional. But the 205 opponent batting average tells you that the young man has good stuff.
All the success you had over the years, was there any hitter who owned you just couldn't get out?
Statistically, there were a lot of guys. McCovey was tough on me. Billy Williams was tough on me. Statistically, the hitter that hit me like 475 or something like that lifetime was King Griffey Sr. I could never make a good pitch to him. Make a good pitch to him.
What I find fascinating about that, all three of them, whom you mentioned, were left-hand hitters. And we go to the 6th inning, and Kevin Melillo has flied out and popped up.
Now, I got Stargell out. Right. And I got some other pretty good Dave Parker. I got Dave Parker out.
Fouled off out of play.
But McCovey was a very good low ball hitter, and I pitched him down, and he would rake some balls. And then one day I'm pitching him, and I was a little stiff, and I couldn't get loose. It was in San Francisco, but my job was to pitch. So I went out, and I pitched the game, and I couldn't throw a good curveball. And I was just blooping curveballs up to the plate. I struck McCovey out 3 times.
Right to the second baseman, Roseman. There's one away. And Willie McCovey owned Don Drysdale. We will be picking the ticket return play of the game. This is the Bricktown Showdown. 1-game winner take all. The ticket return play of the game. 1 out and no one on in the 6th inning. The modern era, Sean Green owns John Smoltz.
Well, you see, I said earlier, Earl Weaver had these index cards, and he had how guys hit off certain pitchers, and he batted somebody one day. The guy was hitting like 200, but off this pitcher he was hitting like 410, and the writer said, "How can you play him?" He said, "Because he hits this guy well." And it's just, it's crazy how certain guys. I believe it was Bob Uecker hit Koufax.
Gene Oliver had some success against Koufax.
Uecker didn't hit many guys hard, but I think he hit Koufax hard.
Well, Bob Uecker finished with a lifetime batting average of 200. It's the Mendoza line. Mario Mendoza's lifetime batting average was 211. It should be the Uecker line, because he finished up at 200 on the nose. 3 balls and no strikes on Putnam. 1 out, no one on, 6th inning. 5-0 Sacramento.
Don McMahon was telling me the story when he was with the Braves and Uecker was just a young kid, how crazy Uecker was. They would be sitting in the bullpen talking about what they were going to do after the game. Uecker played in a beer league softball league. And after the games, he would get dressed and go out and play in this softball league.
And that is a walk. Maybe he hit 210 in the softball league.
Could very well. But I tell you what, I introduced my 2 sons, Travis and Tommy, to Uecker. I said, "Hey, Uecker, would you mind saying hi to my boys?" "Yeah." "Okay, you're going to go see Bob Uecker." And I said, "Guys, I want you to meet Bob Uecker." Both of them on cue went, "Harry Doyle," and then he went into his major league stuff.
Here's Nick Blasey. 1 on and 1 out. And that's a ball, and Bob Uecker was a backup catcher of the 1964 world champion St. Louis Cardinals.
To Tim McCarver.
Right.
That's one of the reasons people ask me that 77 game against the Phillies. I love to pitch against the Phillies, and I love to pitch against Carlton with the Phillies, because whenever you got Carlton, you got McCarver as his catcher. And at that point in his career, Timmy didn't hit left-handed pitchers that well, so I had 3 outs and 3 outs. So I had 6 outs already in the 8th and 9th slot.
You like that?
Well, yeah.
1 on, 1 out on the top of the 6th. Some of the fans enjoying themselves at the Bricktown Showdown. Nick Blasey had a big hit-and-run single in the third inning. Runner going. And it's in there. And he steals second base.
Zach Schreiber is about 1.6 to home plate, and anytime you get over about 1.35, you're susceptible to being run on. You see that high leg kick, slow move to home plate. Time the catcher gets the ball, the runner's halfway down to second base. You have no chance. Now the catcher, that goes on a stolen base, but he actually stole it on Schreiber.
As most bases are stolen.
Absolutely, every time.
And he strikes out swinging. Now, Iker Franco, the catcher, has a phenomenal percentage of, there you see him throwing out would-be base stealers. He was 26 of 50 coming into this game, throwing out potential would-be base stealers.
Well, if you've got a catcher that's got that strong of an arm and obviously quick release, then you've got to do something to keep the guys, just partially hold them at first base, and nobody will ever run on you.
Here is Lou Merlone, and he takes a strike. And the amazing thing about Franco, he may be better, I'm told, throwing from his knees. He's just as accurate than throwing standing straight up.
A la Tony Pena. Pudge Rodriguez.
Lou Merlone belted a 3-run homer in the third. There it is. First 3 runs of the game, and here's an excellent play by Merlone at third base. There's a man doing it offensively and defensively.
There's the 2 balls hit down to him, and they've all taken those high hops off the grass to the dirt.
1 out, and the man at second.
Howard, I could not hold runners on very well when I was younger, and pitching coaches worked with me. Finally, I got a hold of Maury Wills, and I said, Maury, would you come over here and work with me and tell me what I need to do to hold runners on? And that's when he told me, you'll never hold them on because of the way you throw. Try to get quicker to home plate, and that's what I worked on.
Vary your intervals. And that's off the glove of Timmons. Lillibridge may have a play at the plate here, and he's safe at the plate. Very close play, and Putnam scores.
I thought the catcher could have done a little better job of blocking home plate, but we'll see another ground ball that eats a third baseman up. And the shortstop, Lillibridge, makes a great play, a good throw, 1 bounce. Now watch the play, and he got the foot under the tag. Watch the play, and he did. He tagged him up around his letters, and that was a good call by Troy Fullwood.
It was. The ball beat him, but as you said, Franco didn't have the best position.
He did not have the best position, and he could have been up a little more in front of the plate, blocking it with his foot. See him, he's up the line, and had that left foot been about a foot more in foul territory, he would have blocked home plate from the runner.
A very nice slide by Putnam, and Franco put himself in a position to be beaten by that kind of slide, the way he was positioned. So Jorge Pedrea, the batter, it's a single and an RBI, and Merlone goes to second on the throw to the plate. So it is now 6-0 Sacramento. That's Guy Hansen, the pitching coach of the Richmond Braves. He's been a pitching coach in the big leagues with Kansas City, going out to the mound.
Well, I tell you, when you're out there on the mound like that, you've got 30 seconds. It's like doing a stand-up. You've got 30 seconds to tell the people everything they need to know about, and you can't get it out fast enough. And when you go on the mound out there, you tell him, okay, slow down, concentrate, do this. You don't have enough time to tell him anything. Actually, the best time to work with the pitchers is between innings, where you've got 10, 15 minutes where you can sit down.
Look out, Tommy.
No, I had it all the way.
You signaled for a fair catch.
Yes, I did. Devin Hester, that's who I was like.
So the pitching coach and manager would talk to you between innings.
Well, that's how I like to work it, where I seldom went out to the mound, because what can you tell him out there in 25 seconds that's going to help him out of the mess, other than, hey, slow down, take a breather. Because if you say, gee, you're dragging your arm, they've got no conception, because they're locked into the game.
I think the one thing you don't want to do when you go out there is say anything negative whatsoever.
Nope. You just tell them, try to tell them something positive. I know last time, the biggest thing that I tell them, hey, slow down, compete. All I want you to do, compete right now.
And that is a walk to Piedra. And there are 2 men on base. It is 6-0 Sacramento here in the 6th inning. Tommy, we've talked about the breaking ball, the fastball. Tell us your feelings on the changeup.
Changeup's the best pitch in baseball. If I were teaching kids in high school or whatever, a changeup is the best pitch. Santana, Liriano, those guys have great fastballs, but they got outstanding changeups.
Jeremy Brown takes a strike. Well, we've got action in the Richmond bullpen. And the right-hander out there is Chad Peranto. Tommy, one of the great things about the changeup is you can work on it every day.
You can work on it every day. And I tell my guys, okay, how do you practice on your changeup? Well, when I get on the mound, no. When you go out on the line and you do your long throwing, when you start out, you're just throwing the ball nice and easy. Get your changeup grip and practice throwing your changeup to loosen your arm up as you stretch it out to 60, 80, 90, 100 feet.
And that is strike 3. And the side is retired. Now it is 6-0 Sacramento on the Bricktown Showdown.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
The NASCAR Nextel Cup Series at Dover, Sunday at 1 Eastern on ABC. And the NASCAR Busch Series at Dover, Saturday at 3 on ESPN2.
When you fly to New York, don't wait in a taxi line. Simply call the 77s of Dial 7 Car and Limousine Service. We'll pick you up outside of baggage claim and take you to your destination in style. If you need more space, dial 7s for a minivan or limousine. We've got a bold new look, and we're the best ride in town. The 77s of Dial 7 Car and Limousine Service. 777-7777.
If he can get that fastball over and go after the hitters.
So, Ronnie, being a pitcher takes a talented arm, right?
Actually, Keith, it's not about the arm. It's a mind game. Pitching is all up here. You sure it's not about the arm?
Ron, Keith, and Gary. They're multi-talented.
I didn't know we had a cat.
SNY, the TV home of the Mets, and more.
New York Sports here.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown. There's our score. Sacramento leading 6-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Let's go down to Jim Byers.
Thank you. We already talked about how minor league baseball is fun for the whole family, and that was especially true for each of the 30 AAA cities this year. Marvel Comics had a special promotion involving all 30 AAA markets, a special themed comic book featuring their characters, Spider-Man, Iron Man, the Fantastic Four, and the Incredible Hulk. It was a baseball theme to the comics. It was fun for the whole family, kind of like out here. I am surrounded by Thundersticks, which wrap up this promotion here on Bricktown Showdown night.
That's terrific. Look at Jim mingling with the fans. The Superstars. Monkey Mantle. It's the experience of minor league baseball. There is Tadano. He's been in there since the second inning, done an excellent job as Iker Franco swings and misses. Bottom half of the sixth inning, 6-0 Sacramento. No balls and 2 strikes last inning. Doug Clark led off with the double that represents the only inning in the game that Richmond's gotten its lead man aboard. You can get that first hitter out, you're going to have success usually.
Well, like I said earlier, it's a game of first. Baseball is a game of first. First pitch strike. First team that scores a run generally wins the game. It's like 56% or something. First man on, you got a chance to score.
2 balls and 2 strikes. We mentioned earlier those rallies that start with leadoff walks, even more than when there's a leadoff hit.
Well, the one that really killed Boyer when he gave up the runs was the walk to the 9th place hitter, Danny Putnam.
Right center field. Putnam is there. And there's 1 out. And the key is, look, they're going to get their share of base hits off you, but you don't want to put yourself in a position to be beaten by issuing the walk.
Well, when I was a young kid in the minor leagues, I couldn't figure out. Listen to the shattering of the bat. I have never seen, in the 3 or 4 years that I've been in the minor leagues, I've never seen more bats break like that, just completely break apart, where you've got the big end flying out onto the infield.
Gregor Blanco takes the ball. Do you have a theory why?
I don't know. I think that they get small fractures in them, and the guys swing the bat so hard, and the pitchers, they have boring fastballs, but guys will hit balls right in the center of the bat. They'll square it up, and the bats will just shatter.
And that's a strike, and it's 1-1 on Blanco, who's an excellent outfielder. Dave Brundage was making the point he's got to improve his base stealing. He has the speed. To his left, the second baseman, Melillo.
Well, his base stealing, Brundage is exactly right. He's stolen 23 bases and been thrown out 18 times. That's about 50%, and that's unacceptable. Now, if you steal 41 times, you would like to be about 38-3, 35-6. That's acceptable. But if you're going to get on base and then run the second base and get thrown out half the time, that's not good.
Brent Lillibridge is the batter. He is 0 for 2, and he needs to get going for this Richmond club to get back in this game. He's had a terrific postseason until tonight, but he pops that one up. Melillo is there, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. We've played 6-0 Sacramento. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
Widmer Hefeweizen, the cloudy beer with a surprisingly sunny taste.
Widmer Brothers Brewing, Portland, Oregon.
Gluttony starts now.
We're like the Huns, this is like all for the taking, all for the pillaging, but in a nice way.
You gotta think of me as your life coach. For the fun parts.
This is my vacation too, Don't drag me down.
Just saucy, I like that. Picante.
Hey, Money! Listen to him. I can get you in upstairs. I know a guy.
I'm Scott Pruitt.
And I'm Bob Funk, owners of the Oklahoma Red Hawks, the AAA affiliate of the Texas Rangers, and operator of one of America's best ballparks, the AT&T Bricktown Ballpark.
We're proud once again to host the AAA championship game, minor league baseball's premier event.
As we celebrate Oklahoma Centennial, the Red Hawks are proud to be part of the pioneering spirit that defined our great state for 100 years.
And we look forward to contributing to Oklahoma's growing economy, rich culture, and quality of life as we head into the exciting future.
Enjoy the game.
Hi, I'm Mayor Niall Maxwell, welcoming you to the sports capital of Texas, Round Rock.
When you're looking for that perfect spot to bring your youth sports team, Round Rock, Texas has it all. World-class facilities, competitive teams, new hotels, great restaurants, and friendly people, all located in the heart of Texas. No matter where you're from, Round Rock is your place for world-class youth sports. So grab your team, bring your tournament, and take that short drive to Round Rock, the sports capital of Texas.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown. The AAA Championship in Sacramento leads 6-0 as we go to the 7th inning and a new pitcher for the Richmond Braves.
Chad Paranto looks a little bit like the Braves' ex-closer, Bob Wickman. The Husky guy is 6'2", 250 pounds at least.
Yes, he's a big fellow. Veteran, 32 years old. And he comes on with his team trailing 6-0.
And his job here is to keep things under control until the offense can get untracked, if they ever do. If not, then you lose 6-0 or whatever the score. But as a guy out of the bullpen in a losing effort, you want to keep the game right where it is, the same as it is if you came in and you were up 1-0.
Brent Calamoreno takes the ball. He hit the 2-run homer. And he's, as you notice, Paranto working out of the stretch even though nobody is on base, which more and more relief pitchers do now.
I think probably 98% of them pitch out of the stretch because that's the way they generally do it when they come in with guys on base, so they just do it automatically with nobody on base.
But when you broke into the big leagues in the 60s, nobody was doing that.
Well, they didn't do it because you didn't have specialists. And usually your bullpen was filled with ex-starters who couldn't get guys out anymore.
And all things being equal, Tommy, hitters would rather face a pitcher out of this stretch because they're easier to pick up.
Well, I think that there's less movement. I know if you watch hitters and ask them who is a tough pitcher, they would say Tiant was tough because he would come at you with an elbow and a glove and his head and the ball. Stu Miller with the little head jerk and things like that.
And he struck him out, one away, and let's go down to Jim Byers.
Anything in baseball can potentially be sold if it has enough visibility, including the foul poles here at the Brick. And at a number of venues around the country, the foul poles have been sold to advertisers. At the Diamond in Richmond, they have a Chick-fil-A sign similar to this with Eat More Foul. And earlier in the playoffs, Doug Clark of the Braves hit a home run right off the F. He knocked the F out of it, you might say, and left him with an Eat More Owl sign, which really doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't. Keep your appetite, though.
Not if you're an owl. Eat more chicken.
There it is. FOWL. Wade Boggs used to have chicken every day for lunch.
Yeah, he would have chicken this, chicken that. Jim Palmer, when he pitched, they called him, his nickname was Cakes, pancakes. He would eat pancakes. I had no specific meal. I got caught one time in Cleveland. I was watching a movie, and I came out, and I thought the game was going to start at 6 o'clock, and it was a doubleheader. I was pitching the first game, started at 5 o'clock. All I had to eat was a big tub of buttered popcorn and a Dr. Pepper.
But you won that night, right?
Well, I pitched well. I don't know if I won or not, but it just told me that what I ate the day that I pitched had nothing to do with how I pitched. Probably what I ate the night before had more to do with it.
Well said. There's Chad Paranto, 1 out and no one on him, the top of the 7th. Howard Kellman, Tommy John, we're at the Bricktown Showdown in Bricktown in Oklahoma City. The AAA Championship, Sacramento versus Richmond. Jim Byers, our reporter. And that is fouled off to the right side. Jim's been all over the place tonight. Give him a lot of credit.
He's chowed down. Well, the guy's full. I mean, he's got to walk around to walk off all those hot dogs.
He really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I thought I saw a little spot of mustard on that shirt.
Jim Byers is the voice of the Oklahoma City Redhawks. And that pitch is low ball. We thank the entire team working with us, headed by producer Todd Koulis, director Jason Wald. It's been a pleasure. And our hosts, the Redhawks. This beautiful ballpark opened in 1998, the same year that Oklahoma City joined the Pacific Coast League. The American Association disbanded. And did he go around? Yes, he did. Strike three, and there are 2 away. I ran into an old teammate of yours with the White Sox last week. The Moose.
Went just a little bit too far, and the umpire, Mike Macheski, calls him out on a check swing. The batters never think they ever go far enough to get that call to strike. And I would venture to say most of them go far almost every time.
Now, do you say that because you're an ex-pitcher?
Nope. I say that because it's basically true. Not every
you're
time.
Completely objective.
Not every time, but most of the time, guys go. Yeah.
Gregorio Petit, the batter, he is 0 for 3. 2 men out and nobody on. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. The Moose, Bill Skowron, hit 28 home runs for the Yankees in 61. When Roger Maris hit 61, Mickey Mantle at 54. The Moose hit 28.
Moose would come back when we were teammates with the White Sox. He would hit the ball out of the ballpark. What'd I hit? What'd I hit? Don't you know? No, I just saw the ball and I hit it. He had no idea what he hit. Fastball, slider, curveball, whatever it was.
That is a base hit to center field. So a 2-out single for Petit. Sacramento ahead 6-0. It's a relaxed Sacramento bench.
When you're up 6-0, yes.
Richmond flew here by charter.
Yes,
they left Sunday. The Atlanta Braves own the Richmond Braves. Most other teams have working agreements with their parent team. But anyway, they chartered a 74-seat plane. They were going to have a lot of problems getting out. They were going to have to fly out of Durham. So the Braves stepped it up. Kevin Melillo fouls it back out of play. There's action in the bullpen. Buddy Hernandez, the right-hander, for Richmond.
Did not play last year, so he's getting his 2007 is the first time since 5. Braves have about 3 or 4 players on their team that have had surgeries or didn't play in 2006.
And that's a ball outside.
Oh, we'll see Paranto as he comes set and he puts the ball in his glove. You'll see him wiggle his glove around. A lot of times they might be getting a grip on a split or something, but generally they do it on every pitch so that they don't tip something off.
That's one of the things that goes on in dugouts. You try to pick things up if somebody's tipping something off.
Bill Belichick, I would have him here. Well, no. The best team I've ever seen, the Brew Crew, Cecil Cooper, Molitor, Yount, Bando, Money, Jimmy Gantner, Ted Simmons. They're the best sign-stealing team in the league in baseball at second base.
Lillibridge has it, side retired. And let's go down to Christy Starling, who will sing God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we honor the sacrifices made by the men and women of our military and join in the singing of God Bless America, performed by national Christian recording artist and native Oklahoman, Christy Starling.
God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountain mountains, to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Okay, our score is Sacramento 6, Richmond nothing. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
Do you know who the greatest quarterback of all time is? Just check it. This Saturday night.
Hi, I'm your daughter.
See a special sneak preview. Is Spike wearing a tutu? Spike! Of the comedy event of the season.
What if we get in an accident?
This helmet stood up to a 300-pound linebacker. It can stand up to anything. From Walt Disney Pictures.
3 seconds left.
Welcome to the magical world of ponies.
What have we done to deserve this? The Game Plan, rated PG.
You officially have HD service.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it is, but that's not an HD channel. Clearly.
Hey, Ann, come out and check this HD.
That's not either.
In a couple more minutes, Ann.
She loves HD.
Whoa. When it's HD from Time Warner Cable, you'll know. Call today for easy professional installation of digital cable with HD service. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
The Platinum ownership experience is the difference. The Lexus Platinum Dealer Network is the only way to achieve it. The combined inventory of 3 New York Lexus dealers enables them to offer you the most attractive and competitive purchase, finance, and leasing plans in the 5 boroughs, ensuring you the greatest service and amenities that will surpass any and all your expectations. Lease the all-new Lexus RX 350 for only $49 per month. A Platinum ownership experience can only be achieved from the Lexus Platinum Dealer Network.
Born in Oklahoma City, grew up in Binger. You faced him many times. Your impressions of Johnny Bench?
Johnny Bench was a very confident hitter, and he was. The guys that now catch one-handed should thank Johnny Bench because he made it very in vogue. Put that right hand back of you and catch only with one hand.
Revolutionized the position.
Yes, he did. And there's Harry Canary.
And we also thank Christy Starling for that excellent rendition of God Bless America.
You know, I managed this year in an independent league, and the thing when she was starting to sing, they said supporting our troops, fighting for our freedoms, etc. I had a player that I had signed. He was on active duty in the Navy, and they allowed him to come play for me for 3 months during the summer, and he turned out to be one of our better ball players. Played in the Cardinal organization. He was on active duty. I saw him play in a military all-star contest, and these guys were deploying to Iraq, and they were coming back, and their baseball team. And you know what they said that they needed most?
What's that?
Baby wipes. Because when they go out away from their base, they're gone for 1, 2, 3 months. They can't take a bath. So those baby wipes that they can bathe.
Okay, Brandon Jones has flied to center and struck out swinging. When Atlanta got big league baseball in 1966, Richmond got this franchise, and Richmond had AAA ball back after a brief absence. That's a nice play by Melillo. And he's safe. Pulled him off the bag. Pulled him off.
I tell you, watch this play. He goes about 7, 8 steps to his left, makes a spin turn, but then his momentum pulls the first baseman off the bag. I think the umpire missed the play. I thought his foot was on the bag when he caught the ball. Watch the play. See him go, and now watch the play, and he catches it, and his foot is still on the bag when he touched the ball.
It's an infield hit, and here's Larry Bigby. As Jones aboard. You know, we talk about the injuries, the arm injuries to pitchers, but second basemen sometimes come down with arm injuries because they're throwing from all different angles.
I don't see how they do it. Shortstops, third baseman. You know, when they make plays like that, they dive, they get up sitting down, and they throw the ball. And it's beyond me. And so sometimes I think pitchers should go take infield practice like that to learn how to throw from various angles.
Larry Bigbie is 0 for 2.
Because how many times have you seen in your broadcast career, pitcher gets a ball on the mound and goes to throw it to first base and throws it 20 feet over the guy's head, bounces it, throws it, you know. Learn how to throw like an infielder.
He's like an infielder out
exactly.
there. And we got action in the Sacramento bullpen. Julio
Magnon. I had Magnon for 2 years. And I'll tell you what, as Tony DeFrancesco said, this guy can pitch. Absolutely can pitch. I love the guy.
Last of the 7th, and that's a ball outside.
You know, Julio Magnon is a pitcher. He's 34 years old, but he didn't start pitching until he was like 21 or 2. He was a fisherman in the Dominican, and he was on boats, and he learned how to pitch when he was later, so his arm doesn't have the wear and tear on it.
Very interesting. We alluded to Warren Spahn earlier. He didn't pitch much when he was young, and he had all his success from about the age of 26 on.
Right. Hoyt Wilhelm didn't win his first game, I think, till he was 30.
Up the middle, it went through his legs into center field for a base hit, and Jones continues on to third base. Question is put, should you receive any kind of royalties or residuals because of the Tommy John surgery?
Well, it would be nice, like do the three-peat, but Bigbie scorches that ball, and Tadano does not get the, it went right through the 5-hole, score a goal, and the center fielder makes a good play in that he could have thrown the ball to third base, but the batter runner would have ended up at second base.
Tony DeFrancesco is changing pitchers. Sacramento leading 6-0. We'll pause for these words. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
Fortunately, it comes with a bank. Bank of America. Bank of Opportunity.
Jeremy, do your bobbleheads do anything?
No. They just sit there.
You mean you can't see the player swing or pitch?
No, it just sits there.
Introducing Rockin' Magic by Novel T-Shirts. As our dolls rock, the players come to life through the magic of lenticular technology. Your fans will clamor for them. Your sponsors will brag about them. But the only place you can get Rockin' Magic is from Novel T-Shirts. Don't just sit there. See what the magic is all about. Novel T-Shirts, a major supplier to minor league baseball.
Gluttony starts now.
We're like the Huns, you know, this is like all for the taking, all for the pillaging, but in a nice way.
You gotta think of me as your life coach. You know, for the fun parts.
This is my vacation too, you know? Don't drag me down.
You're saucy, I like that. Picante.
Hey, buddy. Listen to him. I can get you in upstairs. I know a guy.
Insider Sports Marketing Ballpark Sights and Sounds. Some of the sights and sounds from around the ballpark. The Superstars. Here at the AT&T Bricktown Ballpark as we pan around. Sacramento leading 6-0. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Now we've been talking about Tommy John surgery, but you were like a surgeon on the mound the way you carved up hitters.
Well, sometimes they carved me up. But you know what I could do? And then I'm going to tell you, I knew what I could do, and I knew what I could not do. I stayed with what I could do and stayed away with what I couldn't. Now, that sounds very simple, but that's what it is.
You pitched to your strengths.
I pitched to my strengths, and I just stayed away from what I could not do.
Julio Magnon on the mound and Doug Clark at the plate. And here's an opportunity for Richmond to get going. 2 on, nobody out, down by 6. That'll twist foul and go out of play. They almost knocked the F off again, not too far away from that. Oh, Jim Byers would have had to do some more work out there.
Yeah, they just had a thing up on the scoreboard congratulating Jim the Lip Byers, who was up on the scoreboard.
The Lip?
Yeah, that's what they call him here, I guess.
This will be a 1-1 pitch. And that's a ball, 2-1. Bottom of the 7th. A special hello to a couple of great baseball men watching tonight who are octogenarians. The great Dodger pitcher, Carl Erskine, turned 80 this year. Hall of Fame broadcaster Ernie Harwell turned 89. When I told Ernie Carl had turned 80, Ernie said he's just a baby.
Ernie Harwell, what, I loved going into Detroit, and he'd come in the clubhouse and we'd sit there and I would listen to him tell stories. God, it was great.
Ernie and Carl both broke into the big leagues the same year with the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1948. That's a foul at the plate. Ernie is a broadcaster. Carl is a rookie pitcher.
Oisk from Anderson, Indiana, and you see Troy Fullwood shaking his head. Now you know how it feels to get hit by Ray Lewis.
Ooh. He could hear that.
Knock some fillings loose.
This will be a 2-2 pitch. They'll try to turn 2. Malillo to Petit. On to Calamoreno, and they've got the double play. The run scores, but of most significance, they turn 2.
Man, Young's got a good split, and that's what he threw right there, and that got the ground ball. Second base, again, the ball came up. The ground balls on this field are really coming up on that second bounce.
You always want to stay out of the big inning, and there with the big lead, they get 2, and now there are 2 outs and nobody on. And Carlos Mendez, the batter. And that's fouled off out of play. I was doing some reminiscing with a friend the other day, and I know you love your baseball history, as do I, many of our viewers. Take this period, 1952 to 1979. There were 16 7-game World Series then. Now, you pitched in 2 World Series then, neither of which was a 7-gamer, both in 6 in 77 and 8. Right. But so you had 16 7-gamers. The visiting team won 13 of the 16 times.
Interesting.
Yeah, that didn't happen often throughout baseball history.
I was on 4 teams that went to the World Series. 74 Dodgers, 77 Dodgers, 78 Dodgers, 81 Yankees. All the games were done in 6.
To the shortstop, Petit. On to first. And we have played 7. It's 6-1. Sacramento. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
Discover the city of destiny today. Tacoma, Washington. Nestled between the shores of the Puget Sound and the shadow of majestic Mount Rainier, the port city of Tacoma is your gateway to excitement in western Washington. Start your adventure with fine dining and fresh seafood, world-class museums, or the simple beauty of the outdoors. From live sports and family entertainment to music, dancing, and the excitement of casino gaming, there's a little something for everyone in Tacoma.
This is the desert of your dreams, Tucson. Start planning the vacation you're longing for. Go to visittucson.org. Tucson, real, natural, Arizona.
I'm Scott Pruitt.
And I'm Bob Funk, owners of the Oklahoma Red Hawks, the AAA affiliate of the Texas Rangers, and operator of one of America's best ballparks, the AT&T Bricktown Ballpark.
We're proud once again to host the AAA Championship game, minor league baseball's premier event.
As we celebrate Oklahoma Centennial, the Red Hawks are proud to be part of the pioneering spirit that defined our great state for 100 years.
And we look forward to contributing to Oklahoma's growing economy, rich culture, and quality of life as we head into the exciting future.
Enjoy the game.
Don't just talk about school pride. Show it on your air conditioner or heat pump with the new Affinity School Color Series from York. Unrivaled in efficiency and reliability. Now in your team's colors. Call 800-910-YORK to order yours today.
There's our line score. Sacramento leading 6-1. There, look at that 5-run third inning. That's the difference in the ball game. The 2 home runs that were hit, Lou Merloni and Brent Calamoreno. 3-run homer by Merloni, 2-run by Calamoreno, and that's the difference. And the rally started the leadoff walk.
Yep, to the 9th place hitter.
As you look at the Sacramento dugout,
I think Lou was chewing his chain there. I think he has a religious medal on his neck, and he was eating.
There's the new Richmond pitcher, Buddy Hernandez. Not a big guy, 5'10", 190 pounds, and a veteran, 28 years old, from Reading, Pennsylvania.
Home of the Reading Phils, AA affiliate.
And Danny Putnam leading off. You know, we ought to give a special message to Mike Moore, who's been the president of the minor leagues for many years, and the minor leagues have prospered under his leadership. All these new stadia. He's retiring at the end of this year, so we wish Mike the very best, and we congratulate him on all his achievements.
Yes, he's done a great job. Well, at $400 an ounce, gold tastes very good. Don't swallow it.
One ball and one strike. That's just a look. Now, who knows what goes on in bullpens?
Please. If mothers knew what would go on in bullpens, they wouldn't let their kids be pitchers. They had one the other day that they gave a guy a hot foot, and we were sitting on the bench, and you saw this flame go up, and the pitcher's out. He's running around with us. You know, and how old is that? I mean, that's been around 60, 80 years, and yet they do it to some unsuspecting rookie.
Yeah, they did it to us, an unsuspecting rookie announcer many years ago, too. I have to be careful of that.
By the name of Kelman.
We got action in the Richmond bullpen. Double barrel action at that.
Well, I think Brundage may dump his bullpen here in the last few innings to give everybody a chance to work in the last game.
The lefty was Dan Smith, the right-hander Ryan Basner. There they are. Top half of the 8th inning. And one of the interesting things as you look at the bullpen, some men flourish as starters, some like the relief role better. This will be a 2-2 pitch.
Tonight we had the Vytorin Award. Goose Gossage started out in the minor leagues as a pitcher. He was like 15-3 with Appleton and the White Sox, and there was another guy that started with him by the name of Terry Forster.
Both starting pitchers. And there's one away as Putnam strikes out. But when you're out of the bullpen, some guys like that because they know every day they come to the ballpark they may get in the game.
Well, I think that we had a pitcher with the White Sox named Bart Johnson, and Bart was a starter, and he couldn't go about 4 or 5 innings. And he came to the manager and he said, I can't concentrate long enough to pitch into the ball game. He said, I think I would be better off pitching 1 or 2 innings out of the bullpen. And they made him a closer, stopper-like guy, and he flourished.
That's perfect. Nick Blasey swings and misses. What about yourself as a starter? Did you enjoy your days between starts, and what did you do?
I threw every day. I went down the day after I pitched. I would go to the bullpen, grab a catcher, and I would loosen up. And I would loosen up off the mound to a catcher practicing. And there is Harry. Canary. But I had 65 games. I started 700. I had 65 games out of the bullpen in my career. And I would pitch in between starts out of the bullpen if the bullpen was running short, because I was only going to throw an inning or two, and you throw 15, 20 pitches, and you get a good workout in.
This will be a 1-2 pitch, and he struck him out, and there are 2 away. So 2 up and 2 down. Tommy, did you ever play any practical jokes, or were you the recipient of many practical jokes?
Me? A practical joker? No, no, not like Fritz Peterson used to. Fritz used to sign guys up for Book of the Month Club and all these things, and they would get all these books and never know where they came from, and Fritz had signed them up.
So Lou Merlone, the batter. What about Jay Johnstone? What was he like?
Just like he looks. He was from another planet.
I know Tom Lasorda said he was afraid of him. He didn't want to go near him.
Well, the one time he and Jerry Royce got on the grounds crew and drug the infield at the 5th inning, they had coveralls on over their uniforms. But, stuff like that is harmless. And sometimes I think now they get so uptight when you do things like that.
That's a strike. He once pulled some kind of prank on Tom Lasorda where he had him tied up where Tommy couldn't get out of his hotel room.
I think it was. They did stuff to Lasorda all the time. And Tommy would get upset, but he really liked it.
Here's Lou Merlone with a 1-2 count on him. And, there's so much pressure in the game. It's difficult to play that when you have this, it relieves the tension, keeps everybody loose, what you want.
I wish I'd had a tape recorder going from Yankee Stadium to Newark Airport where we'd fly out of, because some of those trips, they were absolutely the funniest, with Catfish Hunter, Reggie, Mickey Rivers, Piniella, Thurman Munson. Oh, I just sat there and I laughed and I laughed.
Well, I know Mickey Rivers and Reggie had some interesting conversations.
Yes, they did. And Mickey, they would make fun of him and all that, but Mickey was one of the sweetest guys you've ever been around. Absolutely. And I'll see him in another month at Yankee Fantasy Camp, and he is just, now the quick's starting to get a little slower. He's not quite so quick.
Hit in the air to left field, and Jones is there, and he's got it. It is a 1-2-3 inning. We've played 7.5. 6-1 Sacramento. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
The World Series of Poker main event, Tuesdays at 8 on ESPN.
Gluttony starts now.
We're like the Huns, This is like all for the taking, all for the pillaging, but in a nice way.
You gotta think of me as your life coach. For the fun parts.
This is my vacation too, Don't drag me down.
It's saucy, I like that. Picante.
Hey, Money. Listen to him. I can get you in upstairs. I know a guy.
Feeling like Mr. Lucky today.
This is Oklahoma City's shining moment.
Things seem to be going my way.
So plan your visit and be a part of it.
The reason I've got this big smile on my face.
Call or go online for free spur-of-the-moment savings on OKC Adventure. How lucky is that?
Things seem to be going my way.
ESPN's presentation of the Bricktown Showdown Brought to you by Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity. York, it's time to get comfortable. And Oklahoma City. The Oklahoma City Convention and Visitors Bureau welcomes the 2007 Bricktown Showdown.
Let's go to the Bank of America game recap. There's the line score, Tommy.
6-9-0, 1-4-0 for Richmond. And Lou Merlone and Colamarino were the culprits. 3-run homer and a 2-run homer. Do you every time.
Okay, that's the Bank of America game recap. Wes Timmons leading off as we go to the bottom of the 8th. First ball hitting right at the left fielder. Piedra has it, and there's one away. Now, sometimes a manager will say, hey, you're down by 5 runs, end of the game, you may take a pitch or two.
The reason you don't take here, you're down 5, which means he's got to walk 8 men for you to tie the score. If you're down 1, 2, maybe 3, but if you're down more than 3, you aren't going to walk and get back in the game. So you better start swinging the bats.
So one away. We talked about ball players from Oklahoma. An ex-teammate of yours, Bobby Mercer, from Oklahoma City.
I saw Bobby at Joe Torre's golf tournament this year, battling brain cancer and doing quite well. And back with the Yes Network, calling Yankee games.
And that's a ball outside to Rozema. Mike is 0 for 2, and several former Yankees passed away this year. Phil Rizzuto, whom you know is a broadcaster, the Hall of Famer.
Scooter was a great guy.
Hank Bauer, the tough ex-Marine. He was so tough they used to say his face looked like a clenched fist. But he was a winner. He was a winner. And then Clete Boyer, terrific third baseman, and Bill Robinson. Clete Boyer was traded for Bill Robinson.
Exactly.
Bill Robinson, an all-star with the Richmond Braves in 1966. Down the right field line. That may fall, and it does. So Rozema has a bloop single to right. And there's action in the Sacramento bullpen.
Ron Flores, the left-handed pitcher. That time Magnon jammed him so well. And that ball falls about 4 feet fair, 5 feet fair, that nobody could get to. And Rozema thought better of going to second base because the good arm of Putnam.
And Tommy, we have a pinch hitter. Barbaro Canizares pinch hitting for Ico Franco. Canizares can flat out hit, although he pops this one foul. And Colin Moreno with an excellent play. And there are 2 away. Canizares was quite a story. He missed some 3 months because of visa problems. And when he came back, all he did was hit and hit.
Well, maybe he worked on his hitting while he couldn't play ball. Magnon throws a good fastball inside. And Colamarino goes down, makes a sliding catch into the tarp. Wow, that was good play. Could have come up injured on that play.
Shows you how important terrific defense is to a pitcher, the way he can pick you up. Gregor Blanco, the batter. I mean, over the years, I'm sure you played on some excellent defensive teams and teams that weren't good defensively all the years that you pitched, and it means all the difference in the world to the guy on the mound.
Well, I was fortunate when I was traded from Cleveland to the White Sox. From then on, I played with good defensive ball clubs every year because they were pitching-oriented ball clubs.
And that's out of play.
And if you're pitching-oriented, the only reason you're good, unless you strike everybody out, is because you can field the ball.
Bottom of the 8th, 6-1. There's Colamarino holding on. Rozema with a 5-run lead. Left-hand hitter up there and 2 men out.
Strange move by DeFrancesco.
2 balls and a strike, especially with a left-hand hitter up. You know, you get a little more range up there.
Well, I like to see my first baseman just in back of the runner maybe by 3 feet. And then as Magnon goes to the plate, then you just drift back to give you a little more range to knock a ball down.
This will be a 2-1 pitch. First to throw over, and chances are down by 5. He's not going to be going anywhere.
I wouldn't think so. That's why when you get down early like that, you have to play one base at a time baseball to get back in the game.
And he swings through that one. Some managers say the first 5 innings of the game, they will play the same no matter what the score, and then the latter innings they'll change.
Well, the reason for that is I never like to do any kind of plays early on because you want to see what your hitters are doing. You know, you may not have to manage that night. You just let the guys go up there and they hit doubles and singles and home runs and all this, and you score a bunch of runs. But you see how the other pitcher's doing, and then how your pitcher's doing, and what your offense is doing.
And the count is full, which means an automatic start for Rosema.
And now the first baseman, Calamarino, is going, gave Magnon the crossed hands or crossed arms, which meant he's going to be playing in back of him with the count 3-2.
2 men out in the bottom of the 8th. 6-1 Sacramento. He missed. Ball 4. Oh, they said he went around. They check with the third base ump, Mike Malinsky, who said he went around. And that's that. We've played 8 innings. We'll look at it again. There it is. Sacramento leading 6-1 on the Bricktown Showdown.
Coming up on SportsCenter, division races hotter than ever. Every game counts for October. Another replacement for Michael Vick, and the Cowboys ink a tank. Plus, what surprises Kirk Herbstreit has in his top 5. SportsCenter next.
If I'm going to build my garden around one flower, I'm starting with the crane's bill.
Whoa, a surprise pick by Emmett.
Get expert analysis on the league's biggest stories. Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
So, you say you're a real New Yorker? Well, so are we. New York One News is only about the 5 boroughs, and Connecticut ain't one of them. It's news about New York City to be exact. And now, we've got an 11 o'clock newscast, which you can watch in just a few minutes. Just switch over to Channel 1. New York One News at 11. We are New York.
Discover a high-speed world of possibilities at Roadrunner.com.
Cool. Up to 10 email accounts we can access from any computer.
Nice. Updated parental controls and enhanced security.
Lots of storage to keep pictures and documents safe.
Slideshows with music and videos? I want to try that.
Subscribe to Roadrunner, and this world is your world. Call Time Warner Cable today for special savings on Roadrunner High Speed Online.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown. This was a moment ago. Look at the superstars.
That's Roger Clemens eating the Bat Boy there, taking...
Well,
this is funny.
They reverse things. Well, isn't that nice? Roger Clemens. I don't think this superstar will ever retire. It is a 6-1 game as we go to the top half of the 9th inning. With Sacramento leading. And a new pitcher, Dan Smith, comes on for Richmond.
Dan Smith, only 14 games, 3-5 record, 267 opponent batting average.
And it's a new battery. That is ball one to Jorge Pedrea. The new catcher is Ray Serrano. Remember, Iker Franco departed for the pinch hitter. Two balls and no strikes on Pedrea. He's got a hit in 2 at-bats, also hit with the pitch ball and walk. So Smith falls behind 3-0. Smith is a big fellow, 6'5", 225 pounds. And he issues a 4-pitch leadoff walk.
That's one of the things in his resume that stands out when you look at it. 58 innings pitched, 39 walks. And that's a lot of walks per innings pitched. Now he has just as many hits as he does innings. So, you're about a runner and a half an inning that you've got out there on the bases. And when that happens, you're going to give up a lot of runs.
Here's Jeremy Brown, 1 for 4, a single. It's just impossible to win when you have that kind of walks to innings pitch ratio.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah. That's, I was saying earlier in the broadcast, when I was a kid, I couldn't figure out in the minor leagues why I couldn't win. And we didn't have a pitching coach. We had a guy who was like a veteran player. He said, hey, kid, if you would cut down on your walks, you cut down on your strikeouts, you give more hits, you'll win more ball games.
You've got to pitch to contact.
I couldn't buy into it, and finally I did. And what my thought process was from that time until I retired in '89, here's the ball, hit it. Here's the ball, hit it. And from that time on, I became a control pitcher.
You pitch to contact and try to take the sting out of the ball. Go in and out, change speeds.
Yeah, change speeds, let him put the ball in play, and if you sink it, you're going to give up a lot of ground balls, and I've never seen a ground ball go for a home run yet.
Top of the 9th, Sacramento leading 6-1. Smith is the 6th Richmond pitcher. That gets away from Serrano. Wild pitch charged.
Big curveball almost got him in that back foot. And like I said, Smith walks a lot of batters, and that's one of the things. You pitch a lot of times behind in the count, and then you're forced to throw fastballs. And if you don't throw a fastball, you better be able to throw your changeup over the plate.
Right field. Clark has plenty of room. And that's the first out. And Pedrea tags. And there is Lou Merloni. And he is our ticket return. This is our ticket return play of the game. He hits a 3-run home run, the first 3 runs of the game in the 3rd inning. And that is our ticket return play of the game here at the Bricktown Showdown.
Pick him up.
The veteran Lou Merloni. So with the infield in is Pedrea went over to 3rd. Kyle Moreno pops this one up. It's not deep enough. However, it will drop for a base hit as Lillibridge went back there, and you certainly want to see your outfielder come in and make that play, Tommy.
I'm mortified. I can't believe what I just saw. I sound like Jack Buck. I don't believe what I just saw. The outfielders were standing there looking for... My heavens sakes alive. The center fielder could have had it. The left fielder could have had it. And the shortstop was the guy that they tried to let have it. And it's not his play.
Right, Brandon Jones, there he is. Just spent the last couple of days in the big leagues, and obviously he's got to come in and take charge there. You can see that Lillibridge has a too tough to play.
Well, he's going out with his back to home plate, and you got a runner on third base. It's either the center fielder or left fielder that's got to make the play to keep him from scoring.
Brian Stavisky takes the ball. Stavisky has singled in 3 at-bats, so it's now 7-1 Sacramento.
And you work on that in spring training. It's called pop-up priorities.
There's a strike.
On the infield, it's the shortstop. Between home and first, it's the first baseman. Third and home, it's the third baseman. In the outfield, it's the center fielder. He's there because he's the best.
And that's a ball down and away. And it's 2-1.
Wow. I just sat there. When I saw the ball go up, I said, well, that's going to be to the center fielder. And then I saw he wasn't even running after it. Right. And then maybe the left fielder. And then I saw the left fielder stand there and look at Lillibridge. And he's running back with his back to the plate.
There's a ball. And it's 3-1. We're in the 9th inning. Sacramento leading 7-1. Mendez holding the base runner. This will be a 3-1 pitch. And he walked him. And Smith has walked 2 in the inning, and you usually don't see that, especially when you're in a you're in a 6-run game. You're down by 6. They're not coming up there trying to coax a walk out of you.
No, but if you don't throw the ball close to home plate, you have no other choice. And Brundage goes out and takes Smith out of the game, and he's going to bring another pitcher out of the bullpen. And like I said, he'll probably dump his bullpen tonight to give everybody a chance to pitch, but he would like to have had Smith close the game out.
Ryan Basner comes trotting in. And he will be the 7th Richmond pitcher of the game. Sacramento ahead 7-1. Major League Baseball on ESPN continues tomorrow night as Ken Griffey Jr. and the Cincinnati Reds head to Wrigley to take on Alfonso Soriano and a Cubs team fighting for a spot in the postseason. Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Goodyear as part of the Hunt for October, presented by Holiday Inn on ESPN at 8 Eastern. And Friday night, Major League Baseball on ESPN continues Friday as 2 teams involved in tight divisional races meet. Prince Fielder and the Brewers visit Tim Hudson and the Braves. Friday Night Baseball as part of the Hunt for October, presented by Holiday Inn on ESPN at 7 Eastern. Okay. So we're getting ready to resume here in the 9th inning. There are Ryan Basner's numbers, Tommy.
Ryan Basner with 79 and a third innings and 26 walks. I like that. That's about 2 walks a game. I like that.
Let's go down to Jim Byers.
Fellas, for a lot of players, the season started back in February. For Sacramento, they won a league title, and now they're trying to win the Bricktown Showdown title. This trophy will be awarded in about a half an inning. We'll see who it goes to.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Well, unless SEAL Team number 5 doesn't come into the dugout, I think it's a good chance of being Sacramento.
Now, the one thing about this great game of baseball, there is no time clock.
You got to get the 27th out.
Now, look at the Cardinals last night against the Phillies. They were down 11-0. Cut it to 12-11. There's the Sacramento bullpen. Left-hander Ron Flores warming up. The Phils had an 11-0 lead late, and the Cardinals came within a run. The Phils did hang on.
Being the baseball historian that you are, in 1977, the game before I pitched in the rain, Bert Hooton pitched a game. We were down 4-2 in the top of the 9th inning, 2 outs, 0-2 on a pinch hitter, and Vic Davalillo drag bunt to second base, and we end up scoring 3 runs to win 5-4.
You never know. Gregorio Petit, the batter.
27th out is the hardest out in the game to get.
That's one of the beauties of this game. There is no time clock, and anything is possible. And that's a ball, 1-1.
You know, many times I wish my pitcher could have taken a knee and run out the clock, but you got to get the ball over the plate.
Well, it's interesting you say that, and I'll get to the point in a moment. This will be a 1-1 pitch. Lillibridge, Rosema on to Mendez, and they turned over the 6-4-3 double play. So we played 8.5, 7-1 Sacramento. This is the Bricktown Showdown.
Hi, I'm Mayor Niall Maxwell, welcoming you to the sports capital of Texas, Round Rock. When you're looking for that perfect spot to bring your youth sports team, Round Rock, Texas has it all. World-class facilities, competitive teams, new hotels, great restaurants, and friendly people, all located in the heart of Texas. No matter where you're from, Round Rock is your place for world-class youth sports. So grab your team, bring your tournament, and take that short drive to Round Rock, the sports capital of Texas.
Discover the city of destiny today, Tacoma, Washington. Nestled between the shores of the Puget Sound and the shadow of majestic Mount Rainier, the port city of Tacoma is your gateway to excitement in western Washington. Start your adventure with fine dining and fresh seafood, world-class museums, or the simple beauty of the outdoors. From live sports and family entertainment to music, dancing, and the excitement of casino gaming, there's a little something for everyone in Tacoma.
This is the desert of your dreams, Tucson. Start planning the vacation you're longing for. Go to visittucson.org. Tucson, real, natural, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Bricktown Showdown, the bottom of the ninth. Sacramento leading Richmond 7-1. And a new pitcher for Sacramento. There he is, Tommy, Ron Flores.
Ron Flores, 36 and a third innings, only has one save. Jeffrey Gray is the save artist with 12. Only 17 walks in 36 innings, about 4.5 a game.
And this is a non-safe situation with a 6-run lead. Here is Brent Lillibridge. He hit safely in the first 9 postseason games Richmond's played. He's 0 for 3 tonight. It's a good-looking young player, as we talked about earlier. He runs well. He has a cannon for an arm. He has some power. And he fouls it back.
So you would say his career is bright?
Yes, without a doubt. He was rated the Pirates' 4th best prospect, and the Pirates traded him
for whom?
Along with Mike Gonzalez for Adam LaRoche.
Whoa. Mike Gonzalez, the left-handed?
Yes, who got hurt, who had a great year with Pittsburgh last year, but was hurt most of this year.
Yeah, the Pirates drafted him out of the University of Washington. Looks like he should be maybe going to his high school prom. But then they all do nowadays to me.
Well, the young man will turn 24 tomorrow. And that's a ball. Brandon Jones on deck, bottom of the ninth. 7-1 in favor of Sacramento. And good pitch. And he strikes out swinging. There's one away.
That was a cambio. That's Spanish for change.
He had the changeup down, which makes it that much more effective.
Makes it that much more effective, and a good arm speed. makes it more effective, and good ball speed makes it even better.
You were making the point earlier about we're talking about no time clock and protecting leads, and you wish you could get down on the knee sometime. And Earl Weaver made some comments. Brandon Jones hits it in the air to center field and deep, but Blasey has room. And there are 2 down. The Miracle Mets of 1969. They were hit 3-1. The Orioles had the early lead in Game 5, couldn't hang on. The Mets win it all. And Weaver was asked, did you keep thinking if you could hold on, you get the series back to Baltimore? He said, no, couldn't give the ball to the fullback and kill the clock. You got to give him 27 outs. 2 men out and nobody on. There's Lou Merlone, and he is our MVP tonight, the Bricktown Showdown MVP. 2 for 4, a home run, 4 runs batted in. He had the big 3-run homer in the 3rd inning, the first 3 runs of the game. Pinch hitter for Larry Bigby. Derek Arnold, the pinch hitter, the one switch hitter on the ball club. And he takes the ball. So 2 outs and nobody on. It's a happy Sacramento dugout. The River Cats ahead 7-1. Tucson beat Toledo last year in the Bricktown Showdown, and that might do it. It's the second baseman, Malillo, and that is it. Sacramento wins the Bricktown Showdown. There's the skipper, Tony DeFrancisco. Lou Merlone, the MVP. The Sacramento River Cats, the 2007 Bricktown Showdown champions. That final score again, Sacramento wins it 7-1. Up next, the FIFA Women's World Cup, China 2007, Nigeria versus the USA. For Tommy John and Jim Byers, I'm Howard Kellman. Thanks for watching the Bricktown Showdown from Oklahoma City. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Sacramento, the Bricktown Showdown champions.
No surprise, the rain continues in Shanghai. This match today coming to you from Shanghai Honghao Football Stadium.